The following is a special presentation on TNN, the Nashville Network.
From Nashville Speedway USA in Nashville, Tennessee, home of TNN Motorsports, who proudly presents the Slim Jim 200 for NASCAR's All-Pro Series. 73 beautiful, balmy degrees here in mid-Tennessee. Great day to go racing, a little bit of a breeze and a lot of sunshine. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nashville. I'm Mike Joy. TNN very proud to be here to bring you a doubleheader weekend of NASCAR excitement. All-Pro racing today, Busch Grand Nationals tomorrow. Today, it's the Slim Jim All-Pro Series. For many of the veterans of NASCAR's Winston Racing Series at short tracks around the country, this is their first attempt at tour-type competition in a traveling tour. The merger between NASCAR's All-American Challenge and Bob Harmon's All-Pro Series several years ago has been a very successful one. And to kick off Nashville Speedway's 1995 season under new management, what a great way to start off live here right on the Nashville Network. So who are the drivers who compete in this series? Let's find out. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, in 1994, Mike Cope was the best of the bunch as he claimed his first ever All-Pro title. Mike, what is it about this series that makes it so difficult to win on the tour?
Yeah, it's the competition level. You know, there's a lot of good racers that run here week in and week out. Look at your past Busch champions there from the past 3 years. Most of them have raced here in the All-Pro Series. It's a really tough division, a lot of close competition, but I think Bobby Labonte and Penrose Meat Snacks will give me a car to repeat that championship with.
Well, he'll start with this car in the 8th position. Right alongside of him is a 20-year-old youngster, Toby Porter, a winner on the tour last year. He'll start 7th, and right behind him is Shane Hall, another former winner on this tour. Shane, we've heard a lot about tires here this weekend. How bad is the situation with tires on your car, and how long will they last?
The tire situation is going to be a tough one. We're looking at probably 20 or 30 laps, and they're going to pretty much be junk. Really, last year in the All-American 400, we went 168 laps on tires. I don't know if we can do it again. We're probably going to look at trying to go somewhere a little over 100 laps, and hopefully we'll have enough for the end.
Well, there's one guy in the TNN crew that knows a lot about making a car survive on tires, and that's Larry McReynolds. He's standing by with Jody Ridley.
Okay, thanks, Ralph. I'm standing here with 6-time national champion Jody Ridley. Jody, you got 4 tires on the car, 6 tires in the pits, and 200 laps of some pretty slick racing to go. What kind of strategy are you going to use today?
Well, you got to run it hard, but you can't really extend the car and wear the tires out, and because you got to say something at the end. And so, starting far back of them, I got to run a little harder than I normally would, but still, I'm going to be real concerned to make sure I don't buzz the tires. If you do that 2 or 3 times, you get in trouble with it. So we're just going to try to keep them breaking them loose anytime and, get worked up over the leaders and get the lights set on.
Okay, well, that's a story from Jody Ridley. He's a master at taking care of his equipment. So let's go to Buddy Baker, who's with Bobby Hamilton.
This is a Busch Grand National car. It'll run tomorrow. Today, All-Pro. They are so different, Bobby. You're running in both races. Tell us a little difference in the All-Pro and the Busch Grand National car.
Well, Buddy, the Slim Jim Chevrolet you see there of Davey Green's is a 3,400-pound car. Its similarities is a lot like the Winston Cup cars. It's 3,400 pounds, 105-inch wheelbase. They run the radial tire on that car. They run a 9-to-1 engine in it, but it has an 18-degree Chevrolet head like the Winston Cup cars do. The Band-Aid Chevrolet here is a fiberglass car. It's got a homemade type chassis. It's a 105-inch wheelbase. It weighs 2,800 pounds. It's a 9-to-1 motor, but it has the old Winston Cup head, which is a 23-degree Chevrolet head. To put it like a fan would think of it, this car drives more like a go-kart through the corners. A lot better, corner speeds, but the straightaway speeds, the Slim Jim Chevrolet had beat it down the straightaway. But the weight difference means a little corner speed, and these things usually tear up a lot more than them things do.
Yeah. Well, now to Ralph. Thank you.
Buddy, for the 2nd straight year in a row here in Nashville, Eddie Mercer's starting on the pole. Now, Eddie, what is it about you and this racetrack that allows you to start on the pole so often here?
I just did all my racing on high bank speedways. I just think I'm better on a high bank place, but I love Nashville and the people in the facility. They always treat us good, and James Fincher's given me a good car here for this weekend with Phoenix Construction, and I appreciate that. I'd like to say hi to my dad. He's at home with open heart surgery. Hi, Dad. I love you.
You know, Mike, not only is Eddie Mercer going to have to be good on a high bank speedway today, but he's going to have to get used to running on some slick tires as well.
Nashville, Tennessee. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slim Jim 200 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
They're rolling out on the first of 3 pace laps here at Nashville, so we'll go right to the starting grid for today's all-pro race. Eddie Mercer, second straight pole here, and Hal Goodson, who won back-to-back races on the Tour last year. Row number 2, Scott Hansen won a 300-lapper here in March, and Ron Barfield won at Bristol. He was Rookie of the Year. Wayne Willard was second at Gainesville, and Billy Bigley Jr. third in the points in 92 and 93. Toby Porter, 20-year-old youngster, won 2 races last year, and Mike Cope, defending series champ. Shane Hall won at Greenville, South Carolina last year, and Tony Walls was 10th here a year ago. Tony Raines, a Pennsylvania ASA veteran, and Scott Walters, 93 All-Pro Rookie of the Year. Tammy Jo Kirk won the Snowball Derby at Pensacola in December, and Scott Sutherland, who won in 93 in the All-Pro Series. Jason Fensler from California, and Freddie Query, 4-time winner in All-Pro competition. Then it's Chad Chaffin, who won the National Track Championship in 93, and Mark Day, who competes here every week. Bobby Hamilton, a 2-time track champion at Nashville, and Rick Crawford, who won at Somerville, South Carolina last June. Matt Kenseth from Illinois, and Jody Ridley, 3-time Series National Champion. Sammy Sanders, former Speedway regular here, and Mark Green is the middle brother of David and Jeff Green, Busch Series drivers. Ron Young finished second here 2 years ago, and Mark Gierke, Kevin Evans, and Andy Kirby, the 94 Nashville Speedway Track Late Model Sportsman Champion. Scotty Lovelady from Alabama, and Bobby Russ Wood beginning his second season on the Tour. Keith White from Missouri, and George Engel from Florida. Then it's Brad Payne, a series regular, and Conrad Burr, who got the last provisional start. Last chance qualifying race today. David Littleton won it. Jimmy Britz came in second. Clay Brown, third in the last chance race. Brian Reevely was fourth. Charles Powell, former Winston Racing Series champ, and Ricky Marshall, 5th and 6th. They will complete the field. We'll be riding along today with Tammy Jo Kirk, winner of the Snowball Derby of Pensacola, Florida. And she will have this onboard camera looking over her shoulder and out the side, the left side of her car, and out the back window of Tammy Jo's Ford Thunderbird out of Dalton, Georgia. Also, the Papa John's Pizza number 7 to Clay Brown of Kannapolis, North Carolina now. John Arnold owned racer. There's a look over his shoulder, and you see on the left corner that camera right there. It gives you a look at Clay and out the left side of the car, and a view from the back of the Papa John's Chevy Monte Carlo. We're going green. Freddie Query will start from the rear of the field after missing the driver's meeting. He had qualified 16th. Buddy, they are double wide for now, but do we expect that to last long?
Well, you see Hal Goodson jump out in the lead there. I tell you right now, the thing everybody has to realize is leaning on these tires too early can take your chance away of winning.
This racetrack, the surface is old and abrasive. Trouble out of turn 4. 2 cars. Oh, make that 9 cars are piled up. Coming out of turn number 4. And one of them is our in-car camera, Clay Brown.
Mike,
number
you can
7.
see everybody's trying to back up. This racetrack has a wall right next to the racing surface on the inside there, and it's just like a log jam. You see his car is actually jacked up on the back of the 27 car of Green there.
So Mark Green in trouble early here in a borrowed car. Number 26, Keith White, is in it. Most of the machines have pulled away. Let's show you what happened here coming off turn 4.
Wow, I'm telling you right now, well, you can see there's nowhere to go. When 2 or 3 cars get sideways, everybody just piles in there. So really hard to check up that quick.
It looked, buddy, as if the blue car in front of that pack, Jody Ridley, was a little slow coming off 4. That backed up Mark Green, and the rest of the field just all got together.
Mike, this racetrack coming off the corner is so easy to get out of shape that if you get on the throttle a little bit too hard, the back end will jump out. The next car's got a straight run off. You can get in trouble in a hurry.
They have a red flag. The Slim Jim 200 here at Nashville Speedway. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Slim Jim 200 at Nashville Speedway USA. One lap is posted on the board. Red flag. Car coming back out from the pits, still with some heavy damage there. Number 84, Kevin Evans. See them hooking up the 26 of Keith White, who piled in 33s against the wall. Let's show it to you one more time.
Well, you see Jody Ridley there in the first blue car coming around the corner there. He's actually free. The other car getting sideways there is, that is Ridley. He's checked up just a little bit, and that triggered everybody running into each other.
Actually, buddy, it was the red car down on the bottom that was not coming back to speed and stacked Jody and everybody up from behind him. Oftentimes these things start a lot further ahead than the cars we actually see in the incident. Here's how it looked from trackside along the front straightaway. The bottom of the track closes up. One car gets sideways, and away they go.
Just like on the freeway, you have guardrail on both sides. If somebody gets in a wreck and it blocks the freeway, people coming along don't have time to slow down before the wreck.
Let's show you what Clay Brown saw.
This will let everybody know what a race driver can't see in a wreck. Look at this. Visibility is 0 going through there.
Well, he made the right move, brought the car to a halt without contact. Here's Ralph.
Well, Mike, we've caught up with a couple of drivers that were involved in that. First is Conrad Berna. Conrad, you were kind of on the upside of the racetrack with 3 other cars. Tell us what happened to you.
I don't know. I just lost it and tried to slow down and missed a wreck and just spun around and got in the wall.
And Mark Gerke was involved in it as well. Mark, your car is kind of sitting up on its 2 wheels there, the white and orange number 41. Give us your view of what took place.
Yeah, it was just a lot of cars, and looks like quite a few cars ahead of us. Everybody just slowed down. There was just nowhere to go.
Mike, you can just see it from the racetrack. It just bottlenecked up there in a hurry.
And a tough way to start the season for several drivers as the wreckers go to work. First, they're going to have to separate Gerke's car from the number 27. That's the black machine you see there. That belongs to Mark Green. He's kind of like the Mike Wallace of the Green family. He's the middle brother and the latest to come to prominence. David's the Busch Series champion. Jeff's running in the series. And there's Mark on the right side of your screen trying to help with repairs. Or excuse me, that's Gerke on the right side of the screen as they try to get these 2 cars separated, see if either one can get back in the event.
Well, that's the hood he just took off and leaned up against the pit road wall there. These cars are easy to put back together. They'll probably do some work on some of these cars, and they'll get back in the race before too long.
Yeah, Mark Green is staying in his car. Tomorrow, the Busch race live here from Nashville, but some adjustments to our TNN programming. We had expected to bring you 3 live racing events tomorrow. The Super Truck event, the Subway Sandwich Super Truck Series by Craftsman race at Sears Point, California. The heavy rains in California forced postponement of the entire racing weekend at Sonoma. October 7th, TNN will bring you that race live. October 7th, the new date for the truck race from Sonoma. Now, also tomorrow, we were scheduled to give you final round coverage of the Gator Nationals from Gainesville, Florida, the NHRA event. Florida has had the same weather problems that Sears Point has had. That event is a washout, and the Gator Nationals are rescheduled to April 2nd, and TNN will bring you that live as well on those delayed dates. We'll have alternative programming for you, give you a full rundown later on, and we will have the Busch race from Nashville, the Opryland USA 320 tomorrow live. And let's meet the man who is the defending Busch Series champion. Here's Ralph.
Well, Mike, you're looking at Mark Green sitting inside Ray Skillman's car. We just want to point out that he is okay. Now, how do we know that? Well, we talked to this guy standing right next to me. This would be David Green, his brother. Everything's okay with Mark?
Yeah, he's fine. You know, I'm here spotting for the Penrose car, Mike Cope, and Mark's in the race too. I'm spread all over the place, but it looks like they all got backed up, and Mark slowed up and got rear-ended. But you know, the biggest concern here is just not tearing the cars up anymore. So Mark's fine. He's just not even moving. He's staying right in there, ready to go again.
Well, of course, tomorrow live on TNN, we'll have the Music City 320 here. Tell us a little bit about how your car is set up for that race.
Well, I tell you, Slim Jim Monte Carlo was awesome, and you know, we had to let old DW get that pole. Not really, but he ran a great run in the MW car. But my car's really good, and the track is real abrasive as usual. But it's going to be a tire game. But my guys are ready, and well, I'm awfully excited.
David Green getting set all ready for tomorrow.
And we'll bring you that race live here on TNN tomorrow afternoon as well. We'll be back with TNN's live coverage of the Slim Jim 200 right after these messages. Welcome back to Nashville, Tennessee, where We're still under the red flag as they clean up a bit of debris and the last of the cars from this incident at turn number 4. You see along pit road, there's Chad Chaffin's car in the middle of your screen, the car that was slow off turn 4 that actually somewhat triggered this incident. That's put several cars out of the race, and because we're under the red flag, they can't touch it. There's another car, the number 4 of Ron Young, likewise sitting. Everybody at the ready, but until the red flag is ended, red flag situation is ended, they can't work on the cars. One more car to remove from the racetrack, and we're ready to restart this field, get things going once again. A little bit of speedy drive being put down.
Mike, the people are walking around the cars. They're assessing what they need there. The moment they take the red flag in, and they know what they have to have as far as parts and all to fix these cars. So they'll lay them out behind pit road, and the minute that red flag comes in, they'll start working on these cars. It won't take them very long to fix them.
There's Conrad Burr's machine. And let's go to Larry McReynolds.
I was talking to Larry Rapp, crew chief on the Ron Young car, and they're getting all their parts laid out. They've got to replace basically everything on the right front, from the upper A arm to the sway bar bolt, and he was giving directions kind of like a football coach would give, and I've been in this situation. You just got to be ready, have a good game plan, and everybody go to work as soon as NASCAR gives them the green flag.
Larry, have you ever had to do that? Have a car sit on pit road and have to make major repairs and not be able to touch it?
Absolutely. I'm sure everybody remembers the big wreck at Daytona the 4th of July several years ago. Took out about 17 cars, and we had about 45 minutes to assess the damage, lay all the tools and parts out, but we couldn't go to work until they went back to caution.
So frustrating for the crews, but they'll get to work here in a minute. How tight is this series? From 7th to 25th on the grid. 19 positions, 0.2 of a second.
Boy, I'm telling you, look at this rearview mirror here. He wants to know where he's been just as much as where he's going. That's a big mirror. I don't think I ever had a mirror that worked that well in that size. That is a huge mirror.
That's Tammy Jo Kirk's car, and no, that's not a makeup mirror.
Oh, come on, man.
Of course not.
There's another big one. I guess the biggest thing with these cars is they are very, very small in the compartment as far as being able to see over the rear spoilers and all. So maybe you need that big a mirror in the all-pro cars.
Yeah, the height rules are very different in this series than they are in Busch or Winston Cup. These cars appear to sit a good bit lower.
Mike, when we say 2,800 pounds, these cars weigh 2,800 pounds with the driver. That makes that car very, very light. And when they say they drive like a go-kart through the corners, they are extremely fast through the corners.
That would have given you a pretty good advantage.
Well, man,
weigh a car with the driver for 2,800 pounds.
They wouldn't have known which way I went. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Okay. There are 20 Chevrolets in this field. Most of them are Monte Carlos. 11 Ford Thunderbirds, 8 Oldsmobile Cutlasses, and 1 Pontiac. That one's a Grand Prix in the Slim Jim field. All these cars do run on Hoosier tires in this series. That is the required tire.
You see Clay resting his head there on the safety net in the left side of the car. This thing is so important. When these guys go around in wrecks like we just seen a second ago, hit the inside wall, that keeps your head from going on the outside of the car there and slamming into the wall. That is a very, very important piece of the race car.
Nice young fella, and very excited about a chance to run this series full time. Like we said, a lot of these are young drivers taking the step up from weekly track competition to their first chance at a national touring series. Let's meet one of the team crew chiefs. Let's go down to Ralph.
Mike, this is Joe DeCourcy. He's a crew chief for Ron Barnfield in the 97 machine. Now, you're sitting third right now, but you got a problem with the car. What's wrong?
I mean, this will start. We had a starter go out on the car. Right now, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. If it won't start on its own, we'll get a jump, and we should be okay to go the rest of the day.
Once you get it started, then everything will be okay?
It should be just fine.
Good break for them.
So we're under red and getting ready to go back to green here in Nashville, Tennessee. This race is off to a little bit of a slow start, but folks, things are going to heat up here in just a second. Welcome back to Nashville. They're rolling once again after a red flag of 14 minutes and 8 seconds duration. Chad Chaffin's crew completes repairs. He's back out on the speedway. This racetrack changed hands over the winter. Bob Harmon, former promoter of the All-Pro Series, has taken over the management of Nashville Speedway USA. So there are changes in the offing, but right now we're dealing with a track surface that can charitably be called well, old and worn out, Larry, right?
Yeah, there's a lot to that, you know. I look at the racetrack here, and it's been many years since I come to Nashville, but it looks a lot like the Darlington or Rockingham track surface before they repaved it this past fall. It's very abrasive. It's like running on 80 grit sandpaper, and it just chews the tires up, the tires grain up, and then that's when the tires lose grip.
Bob Harmon has plans to repave this track shortly. The winter weather conditions and the opening of the asphalt plants wouldn't allow him to do it prior to this race. And in fairness to the old management, with a lease expiring, they were reluctant to put the investment into repaving the track without knowing what its future would be. But that is in the plans shortly.
Well, I tell you what, 80 grit, he said. That'd take the bark off a pine tree, wouldn't it?
I think so. The turns here were last paved in 1973, the front stretch in 1970. The track is just under 6/10 of a mile, and it's banked 18 degrees in each corner.
You know, Bobby Hamilton's in the pits right now. He got some damage to the front of his car also in the 42 car, and this is the 27 car of green. They're working on it right now, trying to get it back out. But Bobby has got extensive damage to the left front corner of his car.
There's Hamilton on the right side of your screen getting back into action as the pace car comes around. We'll take a few laps under caution because there is some speedy dry on the front straightaway. There's the shower-to-shower Monte Carlo.
It looked better in the pre-race when we did. You can see what I'm talking about. I mean, that's a shot to the nose of that car.
The sheet metal on these cars, and the fiberglass more correctly, is pretty much cosmetic and of aerodynamic benefit, but very, very unlike the way you put together a Winston Cup or a Busch car.
That's a little more than cosmetic. That one needs a facelift right there.
The Band-Aids aren't going to help that one, I don't think. Ooh. Little flailing fiberglass on Bobby Russ Woods, number 57.
Now, the biggest thing he hopes for is that NASCAR does not pull him in and ask him to cut that off because it might, you know, fall off. It looks like it's secure, but it could be run into by another car that tried to pass him.
And work continues on Ron Young's number 4. Riding with Tammy Jo Kirk, winner of the Snowball Derby.
I tell you what now, I've been to the Snowball Derby. That is one heck of a race, and for this young lady to go down there and win that race, I'm going to tell you, they have 175 cars show up for that event, and she won the Snowball Derby. She must be some wheel horse.
Did a great job to win it. Going to try and run this whole series the year long. Here's Ralph.
Mike, you're taking a look at one of the Hoosier tires that all the competitors are running here, and sitting with me is Howie Letow, who's the crew chief for Tony Raines on the Baker Motorsports entry. Howie, when we see these tires, I'm hearing that they wear down, but not all the way. What can you describe what happens to the tire?
Well, this racetrack pavement's pretty old on it, and it's quite abrasive. Tires, they get kind of greased up. We were running well over 200 degrees out here in 5-6 laps in practice, and they don't wear all the way down so easily, but they get, you know, they get greased up, and they slow down quite a bit.
How long will you see the tire at maximum operating levels before it starts to go away?
Probably 5-10 laps. I mean, the times will slow down maybe 1.5, 2 seconds here.
Now, each of the teams was given 8 tires, 4 to start with, and then 6 to leave in the pits. How will you run your strategy?
Well, we got a couple different options that we're looking at. We're just going to see how things go.
Like any good crew chief, Howie, never tell me everything.
And he wasn't kidding about how these tires will fall off. Jody Ridley says after 2 laps, lap times go up 0.3 of a second, and it's downhill from there.
Well, you know, Mike, this is a test of a driver, though. Any good short-track driver has to face slick tires sometime during an event. So
Yes.
The guy that really knows how to drive on slick surface has an advantage as the tires start going away. So it goes back to the driver, not all car, as you go into the event.
Now watch the red car, number 95, middle of your screen, because that seems to be where this incident starts to develop.
Well, Jody checks up right there rather than run in the back of him, and this really triggers the whole thing. Everybody just starts piling into each other now.
Now that's a chain reaction collision.
But you can see there's nowhere to go. With that wall so close on that front straightaway, there's just nowhere to go when that many cars get hooked together.
Getting set for a restart here at Nashville. 7 laps have been completed.
I just saw a John Boy and Billy's thing on the back straightaway here. They must be everywhere anymore.
Getting there. All right. Green flag. Hal Goodson out in front. The downtown Radio Ford hauls him off turn 2. Back straightaway. Eddie Mercer in second. The pole sitter. Then look for 97 Barfield and 53 Scott Hansen.
You know, I forgot to mention, Freddie Quarry missed the driver's meeting and had to start dead last. You know, he is a winner in this division. He's won 4 times, and he had to start dead last, but he's working his way up through the crowd right now, too.
There's Hansen 53, Barfield 97, the 2 white cars. Barfield a Firebird, and look at the high groove that Scott Hansen's starting to work in already.
It didn't quite work then. He lost about 3 or 4 car lengths trying that higher groove. Eventually, during the day, as they start overlapping cars, that groove will move out, and they will have 2 direct lines around the racetrack.
And there's Hansen up high again in turn 1. Every time he's up there a full car width off the bottom.
Mike, somebody has to go up there sooner or later and kind of blow off the oil and the dust and all the rubber dust and everything that builds up in the second groove, and Scott's starting to move out there right now. One of your better short track drivers in the country.
But pulling down on him is 01 Wayne Willard, who started in 5th with the black car. Closing in on Hansen. And under him.
Wow, that's pretty impressive, because Scott Hansen, as you well know, I've seen him run all over the United States, and he's normally a front-running car anywhere you go.
But don't discount him, buddy. He told me yesterday that he just wanted to ride and conserve his tires. Don't be surprised to see him back 6th through 10th.
Well, I was just going to make an observation. He's moved out a little bit in turn 1 and 2. He runs a low line through 3 and 4, but watch him when he goes in. Right now, he's not putting as much pressure on the tire by going up just a little bit here. He's not putting as much as the 01 car trying to pass him on the bottom.
Well, let's go to Scott Hansen's pit. Here's Ralph.
Danny Stillman is his crew chief. Danny, does he want to run up there like that? Is he comfortable up there?
Yeah, it's just early in the race. You know, we're looking for a place that the car wants to run, and, you know, we don't want to go out and lead this thing. We just want to find out what the car's going to do and be ready for the end.
Well, how long will he wait before he really starts pushing hard?
Past halfway.
Scott Hansen running in the top 5. Hal Goodson, your leader. And here, Rick Crawford, number 14 from Alabama, and Jody Ridley.
Boy, I tell you what, that's 2 great race car drivers right there. Rick Crawford ran out in Tucson with us in the Winter Heat Series. Always competitive up front. Jody Ridley, past winner here. I guess he's won more All-Pro races than about anybody. And this bunch knows to take easy on the tires right now. You don't know what they have toward the end. They'll find out, though.
They're working on Mark Day, number 15. This is for 14th position. Day up high. Crawford with a Robert Yates motor underneath the hood of his T-Bird drops it down low. And Ridley, big trouble back straightaway. A lot of smoke from car number 19, Scotty Lovelady. And everybody eases through there, but we stay green. Big cloud of smoke and a tense moment for those drivers coming in there blind.
Boy, I'm going to tell you what, I've seen some cars blow up before, but that's about as much smoke out of one car as I've ever seen. That looked like a smoke bomb went off on the back straightaway.
We will stay under green. No caution. Tense moment for those runners back about 15th, 16th position. Up front, here is the lead, the 2 blue cars. 16 is Hal Goodson, and 72, the pole sitter, Eddie Mercer. Goodson out of Darlington, South Carolina. Steve Walker runs the team. Doug Bartholomew owns the car. Started outside pole.
And the 3rd place car there is Ron Benfield Jr. He's running a great race right now. He's just sitting there biding his time. Scott Hansen is closing in just a little bit. As you see the 2 white cars coming in the corner here, that's Scott Hansen using that outside line. You notice the 01 has moved out there with him now. That'll clean that racetrack, and they'll get fast out there.
01 and 5th, Wayne Willard. Battle for 6th spot right behind them. Big dogfight here, 28. That's Billy Bigley.
Number 80 there, that's Toby Porter from Greenville, South Carolina. This boy can really drive a race car. We've seen him run over the wintertime also, and he's moving in right now.
6th place is at stake here, and that's Shane Hall, number 85, the Lube America Olds on the right side of your screen, the white car, red numbers. Another veteran of our Winter Heat Series.
Boy, I tell you, 22 years old, this guy is just like Jeff Gordon. Now, you talk about somebody who knows how to drive, makes moves on the racetrack that just kind of takes your breath. This guy is a tremendous competitor.
He's one of 4 drivers attempting to run in both the All-Pro and the Busch Series race here this weekend. This is for 6th place. Things seem to have settled here just a bit. Bigley holding on to that spot.
Mike, when you get back in the throttle, as you see him coming up off the corner, you can see, get a little bit out. They're looking over, I mean, just one little tire spin, and then you lose about 4 or 5 positions. This is a very competitive racetrack.
You're riding in a Subway Pennzoil number 52 of Tammy Jo Kirk.
I'll tell you what, they're not gaining on her very much. If anything, she's moving towards the front. This girl can really drive a race car.
That's the blue car, number 52 of Kirk, and right behind her, Tony Raines, ASA veteran, number 87. .26 of 200 laps complete. In Nashville, number 16, Hal Goodson is your leader. Pole sitter Eddie Mercer in second. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slim Jim 200 on TNN is brought to you by Pennzoil, the motor oil you can rely on for performance, protection, and quality.
Welcome back to Nashville. We're under caution at lap number 30. Let's show you what happened. And again, turn 4 was Calamity Corner.
Whoa, he had a little help, it looks like. Wow.
Well, 41, Mark Gerke's in the bottom right of your screen, already spun around when everybody tried to take evasive action.
Mike, you can see the groove right there. It's very slick, and if somebody spins in front of you and you hit the brakes, then 9 out of 10 times you'll spin coming up off that corner.
And there's Gerke going all by himself.
Yeah, he didn't have any help. He just turned around there, and all the cars behind him see the stuff, you know, all the smoke and all, and they slam the brakes on, and this is what happens. You have several cars involved.
Let's go to Mark Gerke's pit. Here's Ralph.
Mike, you can see all the steam blowing out of the car. He's had some overheating problems. Remember, he was involved in that earlier incident, so they had some problems keeping the car cool. His engine temperatures have gone up. He has shut the fan off, and he's been running in a lower gear. So the spin might have been a bit of a problem with that. He might have had some water on his tires or something. That might have sent him around. He's in the pits. The crew's taking a look at it. We'll update you from there if anything changes.
Thanks, Ralph. 31 laps complete. Bobby Hamilton back in. Another look at the left front corner of Hamilton's car, involved in the first collision of the day.
Well, Mike, what they're working on right there is getting air to the radiator. You can see the front end's all lipped in there, and they finally gotten the opening back open where air can blow back into the radiator. I'm sure they were having heating problems there, and also aerodynamics. That car probably wanted to lift quite a bit with the front mashed back like that.
They also wanted to put some Band-Aids on it.
Oh.
They did. Billy Bigley was the 5th place car, and he pitted under this caution. So he'll be at the tail end of the field when we restart. Up front, number 16, Hal Goodson, has led the distance. Pole sitter Eddie Mercer is that second blue car on your screen. 3rd is Ron Barfield Jr., number 97. 4th, number 53, Scott Hansen. There's Hansen, 53, 22.
Mike, look right here on the outside of these cars. That is rubber off these tires up on that top edge of the racetrack. You can imagine coming off there a little wide and getting out in that stuff. It'd be just like hitting sand. I'm going to tell you, take off to the wall.
Larry McReynolds.
I'm here in the Scott Sutherland pits, a 23 car. They're leaking an awful lot of rear end grease. All the crew members are up underneath the rear of the car. Spray and brake clean. It has stowed so much rear end grease they can't really tell where it's leaking from. So maybe they'll figure it out and get it cleaned up.
Thanks, Larry. We ran you back through the top 4. Billy Bigley pitted. That will move number 80, Toby Porter. Up in the running order, that Grease Lightning machine will now be the 5th place car. Is Porter.
Well, just like the Nashville Motor Speedway has turned out some great race car drivers, Greenville, South Carolina has put some pretty good race car drivers out there themselves. And it's kind of like Hickory. There's some racetracks that just are the backbone of all racing. And Nashville, Tennessee is one of them. Greenville, South Carolina, Hickory, and Columbia, South Carolina used to be the same way. I mean, turned out many a good race car driver.
All those areas represented on this all-pro circuit. Here's Ralph.
As we saw earlier, Scotty Lovelady really grenaded his engine. Did you have any idea that it was going to let go on you?
I can't hear you.
Did you have any idea that engine was going to let go on you the way it did?
A couple laps before it let go, I smelled oil and it vibrated some. I had a feeling it was losing power. And that little engine didn't have a lot of power anyway, and I was going to try to nurse it on in. We had a problem with it yesterday. We cut an oil line on it and lost oil pressure, and when we put the hoses and stuff back on it, well, it had oil pressure, but evidently it damaged the engine then.
Mike, they're ready to go green.
It'll be green this time by. Shane Hall is up to 6th place, number 85. We've completed 34 laps. There's Hansen. There's the number 80, Toby Porter, and then Hall. Double file restart. Lap cars down to the bottom. The first of those is Brad Payne and number 22. Pace car dives in, and at lap 35, we'll go back under green.
Boy, Hal Goodson got a jump there. He's about 4 or 5 car lengths ahead of everybody getting in that corner. It's very important to get by those lap-over cars before you get down there and get on the bottom of this racetrack.
Lead lap cars string out just a bit as they work the traffic and try to get down into one groove. Defending series champion Mike Cope up to 7. Goodson and Mercer 1-2, the 2 blue cars.
You see Toby Porter there. He's running in 5th spot right now. He looks like he may be the fastest car out there, but he cannot get that preferred line to get by these guys, so he's going to have to bide his time until they start sliding out.
Riding with Tammy Jo Kirk. Right behind her, Andy Kirby, the Speedway late model sportsman champion of last year. And she's moving on up, going past the lap number 22 there of Brad Payne, and is now in 10th place.
Yeah, those signs on this racetrack are about 40 yards long, and you can see them going by. I'm going to tell you what, they're really flying around this racetrack. I did notice one thing. When we walked through the pits this morning, they do not balance these tires. And I could not believe that. They're running well over 100 miles an hour, and they don't balance the tires. I just couldn't get that. And I asked Darrell about it, and he said, well, I don't really know, but we should.
Yeah, he says, we just don't, but I guess we should. Was Darrell Waldrop's comment. That's number 87, right behind Tammy Jo. Tony Raines off the ASA circuit as they battle for 10th place. These cars are 4.5 seconds behind the leader. We asked Tammy Jo Kirk about incorporating some of her old dirt track experience here today.
It's going to get real slippery out here today because when a tire, we just went down a test run a while ago on the old tires, and it's going to get real slippery, so I'm going to have to use some of my dirt track experience out there today, I think so.
She's also a former drag racer.
Well, whatever she does pretty well.
Yes.
She's racing very hard right now, and you can see the back end of the car kick out coming off turn 4.
There's Kirk continuing to battle with 87, Tony Raines. Let's check with Ralph.
Mike, when Tammy Jo talks about dirt track, and she's not talking about running a stock car on a dirt track, she's an old motorcycle flat track racer from the Grand National Championship Tour. She's used to running a 750cc Harley on a 1-mile oval about 150 miles an hour. She was pretty good at it, too.
Stock car racing should be tame after that.
And once whipped Hope the Hawk one time, I heard. Man, I'm going to tell you, look at these cars go down the straightaway here. You can tell by that fence how fast they're running down the front straightaway.
87 Raines down low, trying to take that night spot from Kirk. Not this time.
Whoa, we're getting awful close to getting a little contact here on that left rear corner, Tammy Jo's car.
This is her 83rd All-Pro Series start. She has 25 top 10 finishes. Impressive record.
Well, I'll tell you this, I'm impressed. She's in the top 10 of one of the most aggressive groups of drivers in the world, and she's not giving anybody any quarters here. She's going.
Good battle here back at ninth place. Meanwhile, leader Hal Goodson has kind of checked out on the crowd. 72 Eddie Mercer continues in second. Third spot was highly contested, but it's still a little trouble on the 38 car. Rick Marshall was wildly out of shape just a bit ago. He got in through the last chance qualifiers race.
Well, Mike, we're getting into the driver element of this race right now. The tires are probably giving up quite a bit right now. They're probably a second and a half off what they qualified, and they're beginning to slip and also use the higher side of the racetrack. See all these cars moving up in the second lane. They're not doing that because they want to. The car just will not stay in the bottom.
So let's go back up front, buddy. Here's Goodson, number 16. Back down to turn number 1, and boy, his day's been flawless so far.
Yeah, but you can see when he started by this lap-over car there, that second groove is really quick as the bottom now, so that's going to really help the drivers move around here. The only trouble is it hadn't been run on. It's more abrasive up there, and it will wear more tires than down in the groove where it's got a little rubber buildup.
Here's Ralph.
Mike, I checked with some of the top crew chiefs about why they don't balance the wheels, and they told me that it's usually only on a racetrack that's of a mile or bigger that they worry about balancing these type of wheels. Anything shorter than that, they say doesn't really need it.
Thanks, Ralph.
That's all well and good, but I can tell you one thing. If I run 100 miles an hour in my road car, I want my tires balanced.
Yes. I'm with you. Goodson works past the 41 of Mark Turkey. We've completed 50 laps. We are quarter distance here at Nashville Speedway USA. Let's ride with Clay Brown.
Wow, look at Clay Brown there. He is really giving that wheel a working over there, but you notice they say these cars handle quite well, but right now the tires are beginning to give up. You notice he's getting a second grip down the straightaway. When he goes in the corner, he'll start really working the wheel back and forth there. That's for control to keep that car from coming around.
He's working hard. Just as we took that shot, you saw him reach up to the right and adjust the side headrest there.
And his car looks pretty straight, so you can imagine. Well, as I said that, he got completely sideways coming out of turn 4.
Well, pepperoni just slides all the way over to one side of the pizza when you do that, doesn't it?
Oh. And as I said that, his left hand was going up and down on that steering there, really trying to maintain any kind of control on these cars. But this is where the drivers come in, from here to the first tire change.
So what do you do, buddy? Do you stop under green and get tires, or do you just try to hold them?
Right now, I think there's still a lot of cat and mouse games going on here. I don't think you've seen the best race cars in front yet.
So you ride with Clay Brown, the Papa John's Chevy. And back up front, number 16, Hal Goodson is the leader in the Slim Jim 200 at Nashville by 2.3 seconds. We'll be right back. Caution has just come out for the third time here at lap 59. You're watching car number 5. That's the Delta Faucet Victor Ford of Jason Fensler, 19-year-old from Wilton, California, who came out of turn 4.
Boy, he's in trouble way back in the corner there. He lost control of that race car back. I mean, before he even got off the corner. He was like in the middle of the corner.
No contact, but it does prompt this third caution of the day. He gets back into the running order, a lap down, right behind Shane Hall, number 85.
I see Rick Crawford is in the pits right now taking on rear tires, it looks like. I guess you can take on 2 wherever you please. Looks like he's changing right rear and left rear on the car instead of changing, as we normally see, the right front and right rear.
So Crawford comes back out. The young fellow just spun, Jason Fensler, competed regularly at Stockton 99 Speedway, Ernie Irvin's old stomping grounds in California. And Larry McReynolds, understand that Ernie got some seat time recently here with you folks testing.
Yeah, we did a little bit of testing down at Darlington. Was down there for 3 days with 3 cars. About halfway through the first day, Ernie started running his Busch car, run about 30 or 40 laps, and climbed in the Texaco Havoline Ford and got him about 10 or 12 laps in on it and run real close to what top 5 qualifying would have been there in the fall.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Anybody think Ernie Irvin's not coming back? They said in 5 laps that he run a 29.70 down in Darlington. That is flying around that racetrack.
That is fast. We'll take a break here at 60 laps at Nashville Speedway USA and be right back with you live on TNN after this. They waved the green flag 1 lap ago, and Hal Goodson once again takes off from a tremendous battle for second spot.
3rd, 4th, and 5th right here. I'm telling you, these guys are going at it. Shane Hall moving in there. He's the 3rd car in the picture there with the group there. Look at him mashing. They're beginning to touch just a little bit.
Yeah, Shane in number 85, the white car with the red numbers, got past Scott Hansen on the restart.
Scott Hansen's trying to make that outside work. He knows it's the only way he's going to get back by, but I'm not sure that he can get by Shane Hall that easy.
Larry? Let's check with Larry McReynolds.
I talked to the crew chief for Hal Goodson with 61 laps up on the board a while ago. They were just still trying to take it easy, and Hal was pretty pleased with the race car. Otherwise, I talked to Scott Hansen's pits. His car is pretty loose right now, not getting no rear grip, but they was just afraid to pit that early and use up one of the sets of tires.
Larry, they all felt that it was too early to come in and take on tires. Would you agree, or would you have gotten tires on that caution?
I believe I'd have to say with only 6 tires laying here in the pits with 140 laps to go, that's a lot of laps to ask out of those tires. So, and I think it was a lot of monkey see, monkey do. I would say if Hal Goodson would have committed to pit road, you'd have seen some of the guys following.
Good point. Here is Barfield, Hall, and Hansen. They're battling for 3rd place, these 3 white cars.
Ron Barfield is so loose getting up out of that corner. I tell you what, Shane Hall's had to check up really hard. He bumped into him several times. Somebody's going to have to make a move here pretty quick.
Oh, Barfield, look at how loose that 97 is.
There's nothing that more aggravating than not being able to use the power you have in a race car. When they turn sideways, you have to back off, or it'll come right on around on you.
It'll be interesting in tomorrow's Busch Series race. Several drivers have come here with V6 engines, hoping to not outpower the racetrack. We'll see how they fare in TNN's live telecast tomorrow.
Woo, Scott Hansen, I'm glad I'm not in there with him. That car went in the number 1 corner there, used up 2 lanes, and I'm talking about he was looking out the right door to get in the corner. You don't mind them being loose getting out. Going in the corner, that's not a good feeling.
Hansen, number 53, the Monte Carlo that's 3rd on your screen. Pontiac, Oldsmobile, and Chevrolet here battling for 2nd spot. I'm sorry, make that 3rd spot. Woodson still the leader, and 72, Eddie Mercer.
Mike, I'm going to tell you, I really fear for Barfield right now. That car is so loose getting out of turn 4. Eventually, he's going to get in trouble if he's not careful.
Let's check with Ralph.
Mike, we're closing in on the 80th lap. We're at 70 right now. When we hit 80, we'll have completed 65 laps under green. That is the caution zone for the tires. If they get a yellow flag before we hit lap 100, most of the teams have said they will come in and take right side tires. If that yellow comes out after the 100th lap, they'll come in and take all 4 and save those last 2 for the final stages of the race.
Interesting how the strategy plays out depending on what kind of how many tires are available. Woodson's lead now 1.9 seconds. We watch the battle for 3rd. Barfield, Hall, and Hansen. And here comes Mike Cope, number 44, the red car. The defending series champion is going to get right up here and mix it up with these 3. There's Cope.
You said a mouthful. That's Cope, boy. You talk about aggression. Now he can put one on him. He is really moving up fast. Right now, the 97 car, Barfield's really holding up. Shane Hall's on the bottom trying to get by him right as we speak.
Makes the move. And comes off turn 2 with 3rd place. Now here comes Scott Hansen trying to follow. Hansen has room. He has the bottom. He has the spot. Here comes Cope. Boy, Barfield's going to drop 3 spots in a lap.
Well, Mike, when you see him getting a second grip on that steering wheel, getting off the corner, he's doing a smart thing right now, just getting out of the way and not pushing that car, because eventually he was going to spin out fighting that car like that off the corner.
81 Tony Walls moving up with that group. Here's Scott Hansen. Always a threat to win here today. Of course, Scott hails from Wisconsin. I kidded with him yesterday, and I asked him, is driving this track a lot like you'd imagine ice racing to be?
I'll tell you, it can be. You know, the tires are good for about 5 laps, and then the stopwatch will just start backing right up, and we'll lose as much as 2 seconds after about 30 to 40 laps, you know, and it gets real slippery.
Hanson and every other driver out there is fighting that right now.
Well, just as we went to that clip on him, he come off the corner up there. I seen him cross his arms. He was fighting it so hard. So he's got a loose condition, too. I wouldn't be surprised if Coke don't move in on him pretty quick.
Let's check with Ralph.
Mike, Scott Hanson is the one driver who is frustrated knowing that they got an extra tire. He only wanted 8 tires because he said that this Hoosier is a very good tire, but when it gets sealed over like that, it becomes very similar to the regular ASA Goodyear tire that he runs, and he felt extremely comfortable on a slippery tire like that, and he felt that if they only had 8 tires, he would have an even bigger leg up on his competition.
Could well have been. Jody Ridley said much the same thing. The drivers who can manage their tires and get the most number of competitive laps out of them are the fellows who are going to be up front when this is over.
I wish Ralph had the luxury of a replay like we have with Scott right now. He's doing all he can just to hold that car straight.
Second place, Shane Hall out of Summerville, South Carolina, has closed it right down on Eddie Mercer.
You know, it's just a matter of time. I bragged on this boy all the way through the winter heat. You talk about a talent that's ready for any kind of racing, Shane Hall.
Eddie Mercer on the pole for the second straight race here at Nashville. Has run most all of this race in second place. Shane Hall has come from 9th on the grid. Well, we'll see how this battle develops as they sit 3.5 seconds behind the race leader. We'll be back to Nashville Speedway USA after this. My, how this race has changed. Ron Barfield has dropped out of the top 10. He's backslid so far on his tires, and this man, Eddie Mercer, has fallen from second place. Let's show you what happened here.
Mike, you want to see what is loose? Oh, he has to use a lot of real estate there to gather that car up. Scott Hanson started to avoid the wreck that never happened.
And then Hanson was able to get past Mercer. Now coming up around the outside is Ron Young. Oh, he is out of tires.
You know, that's just about as aggravating a thing as can happen, to have all that race car run up front, and now he's just in the way. He's hoping for a caution or anything so he can come in and get tires right now.
Number 8, Matt Kessett, moving up on the outside. Meanwhile, Shane Hall has now gone off in chase of race leader Hal Goodson, who has a lead of over a quarter of a lap. This is for 4th place. Kenseth making a move around number 72, Eddie Mercer, the pole sitter. Caution is out. Let's check with Ralph.
Mike, the problem with the 97 was they had a tire going down, so this caution flag is just what they needed. And as far as the 72, well, he's been spraying oil out of the car, so he needed this as well. And it looks like with the Scott Hanson crew that they're getting set for a 4-tire stop.
89 laps complete. According to the strategy that Ralph laid out earlier, it would be early for a 4-tire stop. Most of these teams might elect to take 2. We'll see how it plays out. Well, Larry McReynolds is not only our pit road expert, but he's one of the best strategists in NASCAR racing. Larry, 200-lap race, 90 laps complete. Do you take on 2, or do you get 4 tires now?
You know, I believe if I had to make the call right here, and it may be wrong, I believe I'd have to go for 4 tires, seeing there's 90 laps on the board, and they're probably going to run a few more cautions. I believe I'd have to take them 4 right now, so we'll see if that's what these guys do.
Okay. Thanks, Larry. There's number 16, Hal Goodson, your leader. And the pit crews are ready.
You know, Mike, we're lucky to have somebody like McReynolds in the pits there. That is, you know, you can just hear authority when he says something. I mean, it's instant credibility. You know the guy knows what he's talking about. And believe you me, look at the guys coming in here. Everybody's taking on tires.
Well, let's see how many everybody gets. Goodson rolling in, Shane Hall coming to a stop, Scott Hanson down the far end, and Ralph is waiting on Hanson.
Well, actually, we're going to start with Goodson because he comes down pit road first. Hanson pits right behind him. The word is that with Hanson's crew, at least, that they're going to go with 4. We're watching Goodson's crew as they jack the car up into the air right now. They were talking about going with 4 as Johnny set the crew sheet, gets to working on the car. And they come around to the other side of the car, and that wheels up in the air, so they will take 4 tires on both Goodson and Hansen. We're also keeping our eyes on the 44 car. Looks like he takes 2. Mercer looks like he's going to take 2. It's just the machines of Goodson and Hansen right now that are talking about 4.
Rick Crawford got 2 tires. Mark Day took on 2. Number 8, Matt Kenseth, gets 2 tires, and so does the 81 of Tony Walls. A 4-second difference in pit times among the 2 leaders puts Woodson out rather deep in the field. So let's take this break from Nashville Speedway USA, and we'll sort out the running order for you when we come back. 92 laps are complete. Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call 1-800-988-4884 to see why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. Interesting strategy. Number 28 is your leader, Billy Bigley Jr. Remember when he pitted while running 5th under caution at lap 31? Well, he didn't come in this time, so he's the race leader. And Hal Goodson did pit, finds himself well back in the field in 8th place. Ralph?
This is a brand new Hoosier tire. This is a left front tire that just came off of Hal Goodson's car. You can see how much this tire is just built up. There's enough rubber on top here to build another tire out of it. But look at this. Here's the tread depth of a new tire, and here's the tread depth of the old tire. It's not a whole lot different. It's not that you're wearing down through the tire. It's just building up all this garbage on top of it, glazing it over. No traction left in the tire.
So some took on 2. Mike Cope, number 14, Rick Crawford, the Alabaman. Number 15, Mark Day, got 2 tires. Number 8, Matt Kenseth, and number 81, Tony Walls. We believe everybody else got 4. A quick cursory check down pit road. All of the drivers who were leading this race, Goodson, Shane Hall, Scott Hansen, and Eddie Mercer, all took on 4 tires.
Mike, you see all that buildup on the tire there. When they start this race back, when you run around here slow, you pick up a lot of that on the tire as you run around the racetrack slow. With a hot tire, it'll pick up every bit of that old rubber out of the racetrack. Now, they better clean their tires, well, the guys that didn't stop, because they go down the corner and it's just like you're on ice.
Yes.
As you well know.
Oh, yes. 2 of the biggest names in entertainment and sports have united in a major marketing alliance, Gaylord Entertainment and NASCAR. Offer Opryland USA as the official NASCAR destination. Because fans of NASCAR and fans of country music are the same folks, it's a natural pairing, and we congratulate them on their new venture. We'll go racing next time by. Number 28, your leader, Billy Bigley Jr. is on tires that have 60 laps on them here at lap 97. Mike Cope has 2 fresh tires, so does Rick Crawford, number 15, Mark Day, as we get ready to go back to green, and number 8, Matt Kenseth. And behind them, all the drivers that took on 4 tires. Let's see how the strategy plays out. The caution was for debris on the racetrack, and we are back to green. 2 laps shy of halfway. Number 7, Clay Brown, tail end of the lead lap, just in front of number 28, Billy Bigley Jr. 1 car way slow down to the bottom of the racetrack with Brian Reevely. Grabs a gear, gets going again, but that's separated the pack just a bit. Scott Hansen is at the back of this pack, the white number 53. There's Hansen. Let's see if with 4 fresh tires he can get through this traffic.
Well, I tell you what, you have to have a lot of patience on a restart like this. You have lap over cars that are on the inside. Everybody knows that it's very narrow, the groove here, so you really have to have a lot of patience. And it's not going to be in the first 5 or 6 laps until you're going to decide the winner here, so you use a lot of patience.
15, Mark Day up on the high side, that black number 15 car. Rick Crawford, number 14 down low, the Circle Bar Motel machine. And there's your race leader, number 28, Billy Bigley Jr.
I tell you, Billy's not giving up a whole lot. We have a lot of congestion on front straightaway here.
And the caution. What happened? They come around to take the flag. What a break for number 7, Clay Brown, carrying our in-car camera. He was on the tail end of the lead lap, and the caution flag should let him go all the way around. Here's what happened. Whoa. Shane Hall.
Shane Hall got loose coming out of the corner there, got into the outside wall, and when they do, of course, you've seen from wrecks in the past here, it kind of stacks a lot of cars up.
He is on pit road, changing the right rear tire and pulling away a little sheet metal. Caution at lap 102. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slim Jim 200 on TNN is brought to you by John Deere, makers of quality lawn and grounds care equipment.
Apparently number 7, Clay Brown, did not get one of his 2 laps back, so he's aligned behind the race leader as we get set to go. Here's Ralph.
Mike, this is the tire that came off of Shane Hall's car. You can see the rim is all bent. Look at this. It went right into the wall. They got pieces of the wall built into here. They're going to go take this tire off this rim. The tire is still good. They'll just mount it on a new one.
May have to put that tire back on. He's only got about 5 or 6 laps on it since they made the change.
Boy, if it hit hard enough to bend that wheel like that, it had to knock it out of alignment somewhat. So we'll see how well the car handles after hitting the wall that hard.
5 yellow flags for 33 laps so far. We're back under green. 2 wide down the front straightaway. Here comes number 80, Toby Porter. Bold move. It's going to pay off.
Boy, I tell you what, Toby Porter don't mind hanging it out. And he just drove her in there, past the 3 wide, going in turn 1.
And he's now right on the tail of your leader,
Whoa.
Billy Bigley.
He's going to be your lead car when they come back by if they're not careful.
He is trying to get back on the lead lap, buddy. He was lapped earlier in one of the incidents. Porter, number 80, is 1 lap down. Right behind him, battle for second. Looks like Charles Powell, 79, on the inside. Going to take over a spot there with the lap car of Jason Fensler. Porter got lapped just before the caution flag at lap 90. So he's trying to get back up on the lead lap.
Whoa, the 28 car goes high, and Toby Porter is now back in the lead lap. All he needs is a caution. He'll come right back into contention now.
79, Charles Powell goes past the leader, and I believe he is also getting a lap back. Now Fensler trying it, and now you see the effect of those 60-lap old tires. Yeah, Powell is also 1 lap down. He's trying to get back on the lead lap, number 79, and has done so. Here comes Fensler up the outside. Gets a lap back.
Scott Hansen has moved by now to take over Mike Cope's position. Looks like Mike Cope, when he changed tires, maybe they changed the stagger or something, but he's not handling like he was.
Remember, Mike Cope in number 44 got only 2 tires, so now Scott Hansen, 53, has gone past into second place and has a passel of lapped cars between himself and the leader.
As Larry McReynolds says, I believe I'd have 4. Anytime I could get 4, I would take them, believe you me.
I think you're right. Hansen's flying up the outside. Here he goes for the lead. On the outside, the hard way around, Scott Hansen.
The one thing Scott Hansen has to remember, though, he has 4 good tires right now. Don't abuse them, or he'll bite the bullet near the end of the race.
Hansen to the lead. He has led here before. Has been in a position to win. Said his last time here he was running comfortably in the top 5. Something broke on the car, but at the time he went out of the race, this was in the All-American 400, he still had a set of tires left to put on it.
Okay, now early in the race we made a comment about Scott Hansen running that second groove. You can see him giving that car a lot of room in the corner. He goes through pretty low in 3 and 4, but down in turn 1 and 2, he lets the car have its head. He's not wearing the tires as much as the cars that are pulling down to the bottom.
Buddy, are the 2 ends of this racetrack that different, that you would drive one end differently than the other?
Well, Mike, coming off turn 4, you really have to be careful. You have to be low. If you come off wide, you run right out against the wall where you have a little more room coming out of turn 2.
So Hansen's at the head of the field, but they're slip sliding around behind him. Long gap back to second place, which is still Billy Bigley. And behind Bigley are the cars that made pit stops. Rick Crawford and Jody Ridley continue to battle, but Crawford's car got 2 tires and has climbed the hill, gone way up the racetrack, and there he's been losing spots. Here's Ridley in 98.
Jody Ridley, you talk about a guy that's won at every kind of racing he's ever tried. What a talent this guy is. He's not a spring chicken, but I tell you what, he can give anybody out there a hard time in a long race.
Won everywhere, including Winston Cup. The Fel-Pro 501 Thunderbird of Ridley.
And he can keep them straight when he turns out with Rick Crawford there, though, in the 14 car. He got a little sideways coming out of the corner there. He's fighting a loose condition. You see him moving out on the racetrack there, giving that car a little more room.
And again, Crawford only got 2 tires.
Yeah, you can tell where he's running on the racetrack is not handling exactly the way he wants to, but the tires will last a lot longer if you don't pinch the car down in the corner.
A lot of smoke there from the left rear of 01 Wayne Willard. You're riding with Tammy Jo Kirk as she works underneath Rick Crawford. Takes the spot away.
Tammy Jo's on the move, I'll tell you. I am so impressed with Tammy Jo. She just drives that race car. I mean, you don't think woman, man.
They're a hard battle all the way through the top 10 here. Tammy Jo, Chad Chaffin in 95, 81 Tony Walls, 87 Tony Raines trying to come back after his pit stop. Sweeps around the outside of Walls in 81. Let's check with Larry.
I'm in the Ron Barfield pits. They've been slinging some liquid for the last few laps, and when he pitted just then, they went to the back of the car like it was a fuel leak. They stuffed some rags, did some things back there, so maybe they've stopped it.
Thanks, Larry. There's Chaffin underneath Tammy Jo. Not that time.
I'm going to tell you what, Tammy Jo Kirk is showing me a lot of wisdom as far as a race car driver. Those are heavy hitters she's racing, right along with Jody Ridley and those guys. This is not your average. She's coming underneath right now to get by
Mike Cope.
Mike Cope. I mean, he's the defending champion in this division.
And the Subway Pennzoil number 52 is now up to 7th spot and coming to the front.
I'm going to tell you what. Very impressive, Mike.
Yes, it is.
She didn't just pass. She's driving away.
Now, Mike Cope in the 44, remember, he only got 2 tires.
I bet he's thinking 4 right now. If he could have just heard McReynolds when he said, I believe I'd take on 4, that's an understatement.
Yes. Chaffin, number 95, outside Mike Cope.
Boy, he's having all kind of trouble. I don't know exactly. He's moving over and letting cars by right now. He knows he's out of tires as far as the right side of the tires are concerned.
And 55, Scott Walters went on past. Back at the front, the man who said that he could manage that tire supply and make it work said he didn't need 10. He could run this race on just 8 tires. Scott Hansen. We'll be right back. For information on Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR, call 1-800-800-1230. Scott Hansen's got his hands full. 97 Ron Barfield Jr. was lapped 3 laps ago. He's trying to get that lap back, and they're 3 wide for the moment.
I'll tell you what, he's making a bold move right now, but he has a lot of race car. If a yellow would come out right now, I wouldn't count him out.
But you know what I like right now, buddy? Scott Hansen.
Oh, trouble. Spin in turn 1.
38 goes around. Rick Marshall in the Ford Credit Ford. No caution? Yes. Caution is out.
Some caution.
But I was saying, what I liked is right then, Scott Hansen wasn't racing anybody but the racetrack.
That's what you have to do here, Mike. If you ever try to race the other cars, you can really abuse the tires. You have to pay attention to your line. And if you really abuse your tires, you're out of it.
Hansen's not at all pro regular as you watch number 38, Ricky Marshall. Brad Aikens Ford dealership sponsors that car up in Windber, Georgia. I'll show you what happened here.
Ooh, look at Scott Hansen. He's saying, keep her down there, boy. Don't let off them brakes and come back up the hill. Everybody got by, no problem.
Now, lap 132. Is it too early? And Barfield, by the way, did get back on the lead lap, so the caution was a big break for him as far as we can determine right now. So now, do you get those other 2 tires, or do you hold on?
Well, I don't know. It looks like everybody's trying to stay out right now. I'm surprised that some of the cars that were way off. Cope is coming in this time. He says, I want those other 2 tires that I forgot last time.
And so did Billy Bigley, who stopped back around lap 30. He's coming in. In fact, Rick Crawford is in for his set of 4. Number 80, Toby Porter, will be in the pits as well, along with 01, Wayne Willard, and 81, Tony Walls. We'll recap those pit stops when we come back after this. Tomorrow, the Opryland USA 320 Busch Grand National Racing returns to Nashville, and you'll see it live here at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the Nashville Network. Mike Cope made a late pit stop for replace a right rear tire. He's all the way at the back of the field. We're back under green. Now, number 97, Ron Barfield, had been black flagged, lost a lap going into the pits and lost one coming out under caution. So now he has made up one of those 2 laps. He is not on the lead lap. Larry?
Okay, I'm in the Mike Cope pits. It was one of those good news, bad news situations. I've never seen smiles so big when the caution come out, because it was obvious those guys needed 4 tires. But when they went to change the right rear,
big crash, Larry, in turn 1. Half the field is involved in a grinding crash at turn 1. Pulling away from it, number 15, Mark Day, number 95, Chad Chaffin, Mike Cope, Rick Crawford all took evasive action. Andy Kirby gets away, and so does Bobby Russ Wood in 57. Wayne Willard drives through it from the back of the field. So does the number 7 of Clay Brown and the 28 of Billy Bigley. That leaves 8 cars in the wreck, including 38 Rick Marshall, number 80 Toby Porter, number 72 the pole sitter Eddie Mercer. What a pile.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of damage on the
Joel, I'm
these
headed
cars,
down
too.
here, 1 and 2.
What a pileup. 52 is there. Tammy Jo Kirk is involved. There's Tammy Jo's car, and Shane Hall's car looked to get the worst of it. Let's see what happened here.
Joel, there's fire.
Jody Ridley is going in the corner there, and Tammy Jo and he make contact, and you can see everybody just start piling in here.
And 2 cars are aflame. One is Ridley's, and one is the 38 of Rick Marshall. Ridley is out of the car, trying to disconnect his radio cord as it rolls into the 38, already vacated by Marshall. That car is owned by the Ridley family, and it is up in flames.
Man, that's a big fire right there.
They'll hope to contain that before it spreads to one of the other cars that is sitting down there between turns 1 and 2.
I'm down here. Right,
Larry's down there. Larry?
I'll tell you, it was really a scary moment. All of a sudden, the cars were just sitting here. Flames started coming out from Jody Ridley's car, and they couldn't really get his attention to let him know it was on fire. But Jody safely got out. His radio cord was stretched about 30 feet, it looked like, but he's here on the grass, and everybody's safe.
There's Jody Ridley. Tense moment. That, I think, buddy, there's probably a no greater fear for a racer than fire.
Boy, I tell you what, I've been in cars, I said, there's no way I could get out of there. A little bit of fire you can get out, believe you me.
Wow, look at the 80 climb up and over Toby Porter and pile in. Here's what happened from Tammy Jo Kirk's point of view. The first contact will be she and Jody Ridley on the right side.
She goes down under Ridley, and Ridley comes down in the corner. Both of them get there in the same spot. Wow.
And it happens that fast.
Boy, I hate to hear all that slamming and bamming like that. I've been there, done that. No fun.
There's Tammy Jo's car. You're looking at Shane Hall just to the right, or his automobile. And again, we are under a red flag here at Nashville. For the second time today, 138 laps have been completed. 8 cars are involved in that crash at turn 1. Several others parked waiting to get past.
I'm here with Tammy Jo Kirk. Tammy, you really had a good day going, but kind of a scary moment. Can you kind of tell us what you saw from your point?
Yeah, you know, me and Jody was racing real hard, and I got under him. I think it might have been part of my fault. You know, I got under him, and we got tied up and got tagged from behind, and it's a bad situation. We was running good. The Michael Motorsports Sunoco Subway, you know, was doing real good, and man, I blew it. I think it's my fault.
Well, I'm telling you, that takes a lot of class to say it was your fault. So good luck next time.
All right, thank you, Larry.
Tough break as they battle for position. Tammy Jo Kirk and Jody Ridley down there at turn 1. They will clean it up and we'll restart the Slim Jim 200 here at Nashville. So we'll take a break and be right back. We're under the red flag here at Nashville for an 8-car collision triggered when Tammy Jo Kirk and Jody Ridley got together going into turn 1. Let's go down to the accident. Or first, let's show you. You watch and listen in real time to what Tammy Jo Kirk saw. That's how fast and how hard it happens.
Goosebumps on my legs. I don't know about you guys. You could hear the impact.
Yes. Let's go down to the scene. Here's Ralph.
Well, we're standing by here with Jody Ridley, who's with his family. He seems to be okay. Tell us from your viewpoint what took place. We've seen it from the in-car camera. It looks pretty horrific.
Well, you know, I really don't know what took place behind me. I know I got turned. They tell me Tammy got me. I don't know if she did or not. I couldn't really say. But really what caused all the problem was that white 76 car, I believe it was. There's a lap car and got up in the middle of everybody and checked up, you know, and I don't really know what the deal was, but they say Tammy got me. I don't know if she did or she didn't, but for whatever reason. But anyway, somebody got me and turned me down there.
Now, I hear you talking to your crew. If that thing is drivable, you'll go back out there and try to pick up a couple more spots?
We need to make 2 or 3 laps if we can, you know, because they obviously wrecked 6, 8 cars here. And that could make a big difference at the end of the year. Of course, I haven't even looked at the car. Might not be able to get it back anyway, but we're going to go down here and look at it and see if we can go out and make 2 or 3 more laps.
Anybody wondering what the definition of a racer is? The answer, Jody Ridley.
Jody is 52, oldest driver in the field. There's NASCAR Vice President Mike Helton surveying and supervising some of the cleanup activity here. There is Ridley's car being hauled off to the pits, and he makes a very good point, buddy. At 3 points per position back at that part of the field, if those other 7 cars are unable to restart and Ridley can just complete 1 or 2 more laps, that's 24 points at year end.
Boy, there's thousands of dollars in 1 or 2 positions, and you get every point you can.
Working on the 38 car of Rick Marshall and lifting up the number 5 of Jason Fensler. If you think this is exciting, wait till tomorrow. The Opryland USA 320 as Busch Grand National Racing returns to Nashville. TNN, the network that brings you more Busch Grand National Racing than everybody else combined. We'll have it for you live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We're working on a hookup to put a microphone in the car of pole sitter Darrell Waltrip at his request.
I get to rib him one time. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think it will. Cleanup continues. We're under the red flag here at Nashville. We'll be back after this. Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call 1-800-988-4884 to see why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. Welcome back to Red Flag Theater here at Nashville Speedway USA. Jason Fensler was put into the Speedway ambulance. It'll be taken for observation. He was conscious, talking to everybody, and they're just going to check him out and make sure he's okay. The right front tire on his car was pushed back, buddy, about 2 feet when they just dragged it by here. Let's show you again what happened. And there's the 76 car that Jody Ridley said slowed up and kind of held folks up.
I don't really see that being a problem. No. He looked like the 87 got into the right rear corner just a little bit also. Tammy Jo got into the left rear of his car. You see Jody spinning there, and of course the cars coming in there have nowhere to go except right into the wreck.
The 5 of Fensler is near the top of your screen. Wham! He gets hit from behind. That was the second contact. There's the one in the driver's door. Any one of those 3.
Well, it's best to check these guys out. They'll get out and say, my neck's a little sore, and they make them... here's a fire that we were talking about out of Ridley's car just a second ago. Fireman takes a little fall there on the turn.
And there's Jody, out and running, still hooked to his radio harness.
Well, he was going one way or the other. If he had to go make that wire 30 foot long, he was going to get away from that race car.
Now, he's okay, and that's one of the other drivers helping Ridley away from the race car. Let's check with Ralph.
Well, you can see Shane Hall's car up at the top. They're getting ready to be loaded at the back of the tow truck there. Shane, are you okay?
Yeah, we're fine. Just hate it for this Lube America car. Crew worked really hard to try to get this car together for us. We've been trying to run 2 cars this weekend, and say we had to end it this way. I think we had a good race car before this last caution.
You know, a lot of people, we never get a chance to do the driving like you guys do, and we see situations like that. We can barely imagine what it's going to be like inside the cockpit. What goes through your mind at a time like that?
Well, I thought we had it clear, to be honest with you, and then the 52 rolled off the wall, and we collected it, and just sitting there waiting on the next car to hit you is the toughest part, and sure enough, somebody piled in on top of us.
You know, Buddy Baker, if he had a race car, he'd sign you tomorrow. Anybody called you yet? What are your plans for 95?
Right now, we're still going to stick with our All-Pro program. This is not doing real good for our points, but we're going to also run 5 Busch races for this Lube America car.
Shane Hall.
One of those races will be tomorrow. He is qualified 38 for the Opryland 320 that we'll have for you live tomorrow on TNN. So cleanup here continues from this second red flag incident. A lot of dry chemical, fire extinguisher material up there too to be swept off.
That's all dry, fire equipment, you name it, everything's in there. A little bit of fiberglass, everything's on there. But they'll clean it, get back to racing as fast as we can.
At the time of the red flag, Scott Hansen was the race leader. Hal Goodson, who had led most of this race, running in second. Number 8, Matt Kenseth, was third. Number 4, Freddie Query, who started last, has come up to 4th spot and running in 5th at the time of the incident, ASA regular Tony Raines. Here's Larry.
I'm here in Ron Young's pits with crew chief Larry Rapp. Larry, you've had quite a day. You had to replace everything on the right front earlier today, and now you're looking at about the same situation here on the left front.
Yeah, we're definitely testing our skills on changing chassis parts. We're just going to put them back together. There's still enough laps we can finish ahead of a lot of these cars. Running for the points in the Slim Jim All-Pro Series, points are points, and they're just about as good as money. That's what we're looking for right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you, these guys have really earned their keep today here and earned their money as they go to replace everything on the left front of the Ron Young car.
Cleanup continues. Take you a little deeper in the field. Running 6th at the time of the red flag was Scott Walters. In 7th, Chad Chaffin. This does not include cars involved in the incident. 8th, Mark Day. 9th, Rick Crawford. In 10th, Mike Cope. 11th, Wayne Willard. And 12th, Billy Bigley Jr. Those cars are on the lead lap, and of course these do not include cars that are in that incident and have been hauled away. 1 lap down, 13th, Ron Barfield Jr. did get one of his laps back, so he is right behind the leader or alongside on the restart. 14th, number 80, Toby Porter, 1 lap down, and 15th, number 31, Brian Reevely, 1 lap down. 2 laps back, number 7, Clay Brown, 76, Charles Powell, 92, that's Jimmy Britz, and 42, Bobby Hamilton. And again, this does not include the accident cars. There's one of them, number 80, Toby Porter's machine, but that car looks as if it will get back in the action.
Oh, they'll make adjustments on it, but the car's got a lot of damage there on the right front corner, and it will not drive like it did before that wreck. You can believe that.
The second red flag has already consumed 15 minutes. The first one was a 14 minutes duration. One interesting thing about this series, buddy, this race will not end under caution. In the All-Pro Series, the rule is that if the yellow flag is out at lap 200, the scheduled end distance of the race will end with a green flag, then a white flag for one to go, and a checkered flag. You cannot end this race under caution. A lot of fans like that rule, and I think the drivers' opinions on it are kind of mixed, but I think you'd rather race for the win than ride to it, huh?
I don't care. Let me tell you, that checkered flag looks the same size no matter how you get it.
I'm with you. Let's take a pause from Nashville Speedway. We'll be right back to the Slim Jim 200 live on the Nashville Network after this. Welcome back to Nashville, Tennessee. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker, Larry McReynolds, and Ralph Shaheen. Glenn Jarrett's alongside. He swam home from California. He'll be with us on tomorrow's telecast of the Opryland 320. And, well, crew chiefs and officials having a conference down on pit road, but no work can be done on those cars while the red flag is out. Let's check with Larry on that.
I'm down here where Tammy Jo Kirk's car is and Jody Ridley, and I tell you, NASCAR's got their hands full. It's trying to watch these guys. They're like a bunch of bears trying to get in here and work on these race cars, but they cannot do anything but just set a game plan and lay parts out until the caution comes back out and the red flag goes away.
That's the way it is all up and down pit road as well, Larry, as folks want to get their cars worked on, get them back into this race.
Mike, you can see them. They're all stationed there. They're ready. The minute they pull that red flag in, they'll jump on that car as fast as they can.
They've got the blowers going up in turn number 1. Trying to get that area cleared off so we can run a couple of caution laps and get back to green and finish this one off here today. Tomorrow is the Opryland USA 320, a return to one of NASCAR's most famous racetracks, and a lot of fellows that are going to be in that race tomorrow have a lot of laps on this speedway. Let's go to Ralph.
Mike, the pit activity down here in the Busch Garage is pretty active. I've got 3 people joining me down here. One of them is Kenny Walsh. You're starting 3rd tomorrow's race. Your race shops are just over the backstretch here, and your crew chief has done a lot of laps here and putting Bobby Hamilton into winning contention here. How's your program all going for tomorrow?
Well, you know, I think everything's going pretty good. The last time I ran here was 89, and we had a good time, sat on the pole, and almost won it, but finished 3rd. But, yeah, Gil Martin and the whole Philmar race team, this is our backyard. And they're exciting, but they're not quite as exciting as this All-Pro race. This is some race. I'll tell you, they're pretty nervy out there going 3 and 4 wide. It's been pretty entertaining.
You learning anything out of this?
Well, I'm learning that they're working in that high groove for me because that's where I'll probably be tomorrow.
Kenny Walsh, as we said, will be starting 3rd. Michael Waltrip will be starting 19th in your Pennzoil car. What are you picking up out of everything you're seeing here today?
I just hope tomorrow is a boring race compared to this one. These guys and girls are something, you know. It's been exciting to watch, and I hope that we don't see a whole lot of this tomorrow. I think you got some real good cars for the race tomorrow and some great drivers in it, and man, I'm just excited to be here. I haven't ever run at Nashville. I won a dash race here in '84 and hadn't been back here since, and it's just exciting.
Well, Big Brother's done pretty well here. Has he bothered to share any information with you, or does he just smile and walk away?
I think he'd rather climb a pole and lie to me than stand on the ground and tell the truth when it comes to chassis stuff, you know, and I think that's good. You know, he's competitive. He wants to beat me just like he wants to beat everybody else. So I didn't ask him nothing because I could ask him something and then take what he tells me the dead opposite and go that way. I'd probably be closer to it. But it's just great to be in Nashville. All the race fans here and excitement. We're just a couple hours down the road in Owensboro. Got a friend laying in the hospital there, Scott Mercer, and he's getting better every day. And Shane, I'm thinking about you and Scott and praying that you get okay. So we wish you were here with us.
Sure, you're thinking about those Wildcats too, aren't you?
That's right. I got my Kentucky shirt on there. Leading the last time I checked the score, and I was heading off to the truck to watch the end of the game when I stopped by and chat with you guys. So going to see what's happening.
Hey, you know, the great thing about talking to you is when you got somebody else talking, you just walk right under him. He's too tall. Hey, Steve Warner, you've probably had more airtime on TNN than any of us all put together down here. What's up with your program this year?
Oh, I'm just working away. I started a new album a couple weeks ago, and I'm reminiscing here today because not far from here is where I was in the Mark Colley Legends race, you know, last October. That was real fun. So right here on this the short little track over there. But, yeah, I've been touring, you know, working away at it. I just filmed a new show for TNN that's called At the Ryman. We just filmed it last week. I was a guest of Ricky Skaggs, and Glenn Campbell was on, and so we did that, and just working away, writing a lot of songs, and started the new album.
Now, you and Michael have been buddies for a long time. You going to be helping him on the pit crew tomorrow? What are you going to do?
I don't know. I'll get in the way probably. A year ago at Daytona, I helped him down there with I was a water guy for that race, and I've learned real quick that day I need to stay out of the pits and just watch, you know. But I'll be cheering him on, and my friend Jeff Green too's running, so it'll be great. Be cheering Michael on.
He was my water boy at Daytona, and I think he thought I was a camel because I never saw a drink one. So
well, no, you know, the first time when his first pit, he pulls in, I stick it. They say, stay out of the way, be careful. So he pulls in, I stick that water out there, and Michael looks at me and goes, get that water out of here. And then I go, then he goes, I'm just kidding, give me some, you know. So he's messing with me the first pit, you know.
Yeah, next time he's in concert and he needs a guitar string, just dangle one at him.
Hey, he'll come out there, though. He'll come out there and sing all night. He's that way.
Mike?
Don't know how many tickets that'd sell, but and we may have to find out. Well, you kind of see why NASCAR and Opryland have hooked up to make Opryland the official NASCAR destination. Not only are NASCAR fans and country music fans the same, but the stars show up at the same events. Well, we got Porter Wagner here tomorrow, the Oak Ridge Boys. Steve Warner's here today. Lisa Stewart was here yesterday to watch practice and qualifying. No wonder that NASCAR and Opryland USA have joined up in a major marketing alliance. So we think they'll have fun with that, and we think you fans will too.
Mike, have you ever been to the Wild Horse Saloon?
Not since last night. Did I have a good time?
I'm telling you right now, that place is unreal. You talk about fun.
It was a lot of fun, but you see those folks all dancing in a circle. It's kind of like the baggage belt at the airport. You see one come around for the third time, and you say, well, nobody's going to pick that up.
Can't believe
and
you.
with that, We'll be back to a Red Flag Theater here at Nashville Speedway USA right after this. Welcome back to Nashville Speedway USA. Tomorrow we were supposed to have a triple header of live racing on TNN, but heavy rains in Northern California have postponed the Super Truck Series by Craftsman race, scheduled there to October 7th. You'll see it live on TNN on October 7th. Also tomorrow, we had hoped to bring you final round coverage of the Gator Nationals NHRA drag race. That has been postponed due to rain. April 2nd is the new date, and you will see the Mac Tools Gator Nationals on TNN Live on April 2nd. Tomorrow we will bring you the Opryland USA 320 here from Nashville Speedway USA, just as we're going to bring you the conclusion of this Slim Jim 200 just as soon as they fire engines here in a minute or so. And demanding equal time, because we've been kind of harping on him here during the commercial breaks, is Glenn Jarrett, who I know you were looking forward to the truck race in California this weekend.
Oh, yeah, Mike, absolutely. Really excited about that series. You know, we got to do the stuff out in Tucson, and man, I couldn't wait to get out there. But you know, seeing kind of how things happened here today, I was going to be fortunate enough to do the play-by-play on the truck race, and man, I don't know what I'd have done if something like this had happened to me. You guys are doing a great job here.
You go find some itinerant non-working today broadcaster next door, and you'd bring him in the booth to help spell us.
Yeah, they have rescheduled the truck race out there for I believe October 8th or 7th. Okay, I knew it was one of either 7th or the 8th that weekend in October. So maybe we'll get to take you out there with us.
Let's go.
That's fun. Road courses are fun. The trucks are fun, and I really can't wait to get started again.
Oh, I don't want to go, right?
Well, I thought,
nice
excuse me, buddy.
Yeah.
I thought I said you guys. I meant the both of you. You as plural you, not singular you.
NASCAR officials have just come by and told us they expect to fire engines within a minute or two, and we'll be ready to get this race back underway for the final 62 laps. They've fired them up, and work begins along pit road. That's the number 80 car of Toby Porter. They're trying to get repaired the number 4 of Ron Young, and also back in the garage area here, some of the cars that were damaged in the event, like Jody Ridley's, are being assessed for damage and hope to get back out. Here's a look at how they're running here at Nashville Speedway USA. Scott Hansen, the leader. All of these cars are on the lead lap back through 12th place. We understand from NASCAR timing and scoring. Back through Billy Bigley, they are on the lead lap. These cars are one lap down back through 16th position. These cars 2 laps down. And these cars are more than 2 laps down after about 17th position. Now that rundown did include some of the cars that were damaged in the incident. We'll see if they're able to complete additional laps or not here in just a minute. .139 laps complete, 61 to go. And don't forget, tomorrow, Busch Grand National Racing live. Kind of nice for Major League NASCAR Racing to be back here in Nashville.
You know, Mike, we were talking earlier today to Darrell Waltrip, and he said, everybody here thinks I'm the smartest chassis guy in the world, and they're coming up asking me everything to do to their car to beat me. He says, I tell every one of them, don't work on them. They look pretty good in the corner to me.
Right. Larry McReynolds.
Okay, I've been talking to the crews of Hal Goodson and Scott Hansen in particular. They each have 2 right side tires left, and their strategy is kind of the same. If they get a caution, you know, somewhere in the 160 to 175, 180 range, and I say you'll see those teams come in and get those 2 right sides. Mike Cope, further back in the field, he has no tires left in the pits, but he does have those 4 fresh ones that has a little fresher left sides than the other guys, so it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Thanks, Larry. 12 cars are on the lead lap.
Boy, this is Toby Porter's car. The front of this race car is completely annihilated. They're beating sheet metal and stuff back right now, so it does not get back into the tire area. But that looks pretty damaging to me, don't you think, Glenn?
Oh yeah, buddy. They you know, but they're going to strip the front of the car away and you know, just get out there and ride around, try to finish the thing. First race of the season, he's going to pick up as many points as he can. So many cars have had trouble today and fallen out of the race that if he can just get out there and make some laps, he may come home with a top 15, top 20 finish.
That's what Jody Ridley said not long ago. If he can get out for just 2 or 3 more laps, there were so many cars knocked out in that wreck that he could pick up points and might even win the series for him.
So the pace car brings them around with 60 laps to go next time. 12 cars on the lead lap. There's Scott Hansen in white, your leader. Number 16, Hal Goodson in blue. 97 Barfield is a lap car, and so is Charles Powell. Here's Tammy Jo Kirk, who may be trying to get back into this race in her number 52 Subway Pennzoil entry.
You know, she took all the blame for that wreck, but she was on the bottom of the racetrack. She really had nowhere to go. She was racing Jody Ridley for the spot, and it was just a blind spot on the race car that I'm sure Ridley didn't see her. She was already committed to go in the corner. Took a pretty brave little lad to say, hey, I messed up. I got in the corner. I should have checked up. But really and truly, they were racing for a spot, and I wouldn't blame her 100% for that wreck.
You know, we got a report also, buddy, that our good friend Shane Hall was trying to get his car back out. Shane had worked his way up to second and got, I think he must have evidently bent the rear end when he got in the wall over here off of forward, because the car just never seemed to be the same after that.
Let's get an update on Jody Ridley's car. Here's Ralph.
Mike, you remember we were talking to him, and he said he was going to try to get back. You can see this is the right side of the car. This is all cosmetic. It's singed, but it's basically cosmetic. Back to the back side of the car is where the problems were. The crew is still working on it. And you can see the rear end of the car underneath here, that the fuel cell itself is damaged and bent in. Jody told me that it's a little too bent up for him to return to the race today.
Yeah, that don't look like one that's going to come back and fight, especially today. He had a whole car up in the inside there, old sheet metal they had thrown up into the car. That car is really damaged beyond fix.
Well, I want to thank you folks for staying with us. 41 minutes and 38 seconds of red flag time today, but we've seen some good racing, and it's far from over. One lap and we'll go green. Scott Hansen at the front. Let's go back to Ralph.
Well, Tammy Jo Kirk is getting belted into the car. We're going to try to talk to her here real quickly. As soon as they get the window netting up on the car, she's about... Tammy, you going to get back in there?
Yes, sir, Ralph. We're going to be in here just a few minutes. We're going to do a whole lot, but we're going to get back out there and see what opportunity we can get up.
Tammy Jo Kirk, boy, she is quite a racer, isn't she?
And talks almost as fast as she drives.
Yes, you're right. Now, Ron Barfield in 97 will be trying to get back on the lead lap, as will Charles Powell. 16 is Woodson. Now Mike Cope pulls up to the inside. 3 wide. I don't think we'll get a restart that way. Let's see. Unless Cope is coming to the pits.
Uh-oh.
If that's the case, he is.
Exactly what he's doing.
Keeps pace with the leaders as they come around, and we're back under green. Mike Cope is pitting. Tough break for the series champion. Hansen into turn 1. Barfield trying to get his lap back, will not do it. Woodson, the blue car, is second. Hal Goodson in second. Up front, Scott Hansen. Let's go to Mike Cope's pit. Ralph?
Mike, the problem for Mike Cope is a flat left rear tire. That's why he had to make a pit stop again.
Tough break for Mike Cope. He has gone 1 lap down.
Boy, oh boy, I thought he had a real advantage because he had the freshest tires of anybody out there, but it all went by the wayside when he cut that tire down.
First 3 cars are pretty much strung out due to lap traffic. Matt Kenseth, number 8, is third. And Freddie Query in number 6, who started dead last on this field after missing the drivers' meeting, is up to 4th. Up front, Barfield trying to get his lap back. It's not going to happen there. Here, just back at the top 5. Tight pack involved up on the outside there. 87 is in contention. That's Tony Raines.
No contact there.
Looks like Raines had a little piece of that. 1 wheel mark. Chad Chapin comes alongside. Does Raines? Looks like he'll get back to speed.
Well, what he's doing right now, Mike, you don't come right back up to speed. You feel the race car out and make sure you don't have a tire going flat or something like that after you hit the wall. You always want to make sure that car is good before you go back into battle.
I'll show you what happened there to Tony Raines in that tight pack of traffic.
Yeah, Scott Walters came up the racetrack and just got into him, hit him pretty hard, got him into the wall. That's pretty good tag there. Could have done some rear end damage to the car too.
Cost him 4 positions on the racetrack, and he continues to backslide a bit. 31 going past is Brian Reevely, and 65 the Nashville track champion Andy Kirby.
Well, Glenn just made an observation. When you hit that hard, 90% of the time, it knocks the car out of alignment, and then on it never drives the same.
Scott Hansen, your leader. Boy, what an impressive job he's done. Barfield is 1 lap down. The blue car, Hal Goodson, is 3rd. And here's the battle just behind them. In 4th is number 8, Matt Kenseth, and this is 5th and 6th. Right behind Kenseth, Freddie Query, number 6, and 28 again, Billy Bigley. Those 3 cars fighting 4th, 5th, and 6th. Excuse me, make that 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
You can see Hal Goodson making a real hard run right now. He's actually closing in on the front 2 cars as we go back in the field here.
3rd, 4th, and 5th place at stake here.
I got to think that that Billy Bigley Jr. is going to have the say-so in this deal. His car's been strong all day, guys. I've watched him from the press box over there, and he just had some missed timing on his pit stops and stuff. But that number 28 car is awfully strong. It's going to be tough for Freddie Query and the number 6 car to hold him off.
He has come from dead last up to 4th, though. That's pretty impressive. So this, you know, as they really run the tires in, these race cars start giving up a little bit. The winner may be running in 5th or 6th or 7th right now. Just because you're leading don't mean you have an advantage.
That's exactly right there. Bigley puts a move on Query, but Query's a good old North Carolina boy, former school teacher. He's going to hang in there as tough as he can.
Bigley's a little bit stronger off the corner. Now he's trying to get under.
Had the room there, but couldn't get it in deep enough to get alongside. Skates it coming out.
That car's a rocket ship off the corner, though. Bigley got a lot of advantage from the center of the corner. Watch him run right up side by side off the corner here.
And he has to back out a little bit. It's interesting to me, guys, to see how much up the racetrack the groove has moved. They've already moved 1 complete lane. Earlier on, Freddie Query would have been caught dead up there where he is right now, but he's giving Billy the room. Billy makes the move under him.
These cars are 5.5 seconds behind the race leader. Freddie Query, the terminal trucking number 6. Billy Bigley in 28. Well, couldn't complete the pass. Let's check with Ralph.
One of the reasons why Bigley has gotten so much quicker is he can see now. Earlier on in the race, his windshield was covered in oil, and he was complaining that he can't see. And it's awfully hard to utilize everything your car has when you have no idea where you're going. Clean windshield, and now he can really put his foot to the floor and utilize the new tires.
Whoa, a little touching coming out of turn 2 there. Query got all the way sideways. They're racing so close right now. I mean, whoa, and a little loose off turn 4.
Great battle for 4th place.
Billy's car is really loose. He's doing a heck of a job putting the kind of pressure on Freddie that he's doing, but that car is some kind of loose. I'm sure he'd probably like to be up in that outside lane.
Well, that one career win of Bigley's came at Jefferson, Georgia in '93, where he edged Jody Ridley at the checker.
He just gave him a little chrome horn there, getting in the corner there. Beep, beep, I'm here.
And then he drove it right down off the apron coming off of 4 trying to make the pass. So this is a heck of a battle.
Scott Hansen continues to lead. Hal Goodson runs in 2nd, and Matt Kenseth, the number 8, has gotten some breathing room on these 2 the way they're battling.
Query's running a very controlled race, but Bigley's going to get by him sooner or later here. I hope they don't get into each other. They've made several times now. They've made a little contact out of the corner.
Yeah, they've touched several times, but, you know, give Billy credit. He hasn't hit Freddie hard enough to completely put him out of shape. Just a little tap to let him know, hey, I'm back here, man. You make one little mistake, I'm coming by.
The other thing, when you look in the mirror going in the corner and you don't see that race car and he's on that blind side, you don't know how far he is up towards that door, so you can't cut down in the preferred groove getting in the corner. As you see, they're side by side already.
Yeah, he's really worked him hard, buddy. He's got the, I think he's got the preferred line, and he turns it sideways off
lap
the floor,
car.
and the lap car gets him.
Freddie Query used the lap car as a pick just beautifully.
Well, there was a lot of things involved right there. He got sideways. I'm not sure the lap over car really got that much of him. He has fallen in that loose condition, and he's not helping matters by trying to pass on the very bottom of the racetrack.
That's exactly right, buddy. You have to turn the car down more. But what gets me is, as loose as it is, he continues to pull it right down on the apron off of 4. It looks to me like that upsets the car and makes it even looser.
Now he's running right in Query's tire tracks once again.
All that work he did to get under him, now he's got to start all over again.
That's right. Tammy Jo Kirk is back in the race, 21 laps down, but they completed repairs to her car. There she is. They'll try to pile up some points here before the day is over.
You think these guys aren't earning their money. Look at his right hand there, back and forth, up and down. They get in the corner, you can see him. It looks like there's a bee on his head. He goes fighting that thing, getting in the corner.
Whoa! Query got loose, and here comes Bigley.
I told you, this had to happen sooner. Oh, he goes right back in the...
Freddie still had up a head of steam there, was able to pull him down the front stretch.
I don't think Bigley hit him. I think Query looked like Query just got loose and almost around all by himself. Bigley probably had to check up out of the throttle.
There he goes
Too
to
late
the
to get back
outside.
in.
If he gets this outside line, I believe he'll go right on by for him.
Or he could be trying to fake him, buddy, make him think he's coming on the outside, get Freddie move up the racetrack a little bit more and get back under him on the inside.
Watch out when he comes off the corner, though. He just pulls about a full car length on Bigley.
Look at his right. Look at Bigley's right front fender there, how caved in it is. That's when he got into to Freddie Query just a lap or so ago.
Great battle for 4th place. That's Bigley in 28, Query in 6.
This could go on forever.
Well, I started to say, I came into booth around lap 150. Before that, these guys have been going at it hard and heavy for 15, 20 laps now.
Query in a Ford. Bigley's 28 is a Chevrolet, is a Monte Carlo, as they run for 4th place.
Mike, this is the part of the race that make a car has nothing to do with it. The better handling race cars. Bigley's got a very good race car. If he ever does, as he does, clear him just as we speak.
Looked like Freddie might have rolled out of the throttle just a little there, getting into 3, and Bigby's really pulling away from him right now.
Here's your leader, Scott Hansen. He's opened up a sizable advantage. That's Tony Raines just ahead of him, trying to keep from going a lap down. There are 71 laps to go. Welcome back to Nashville. I should have said there are 31 laps to go, and there are now 25 for Scott Hansen. 175 in the book, 25 to go. As his Wisconsin Aviation Monte Carlo holds sway over the rest of the field here. In second, outside pole sitter Hal Goodson, number 16.
It looks like Goodson will pull up and gain maybe 15, 20 car lengths, and all of a sudden, the 53 car Scott Hansen will go right back out and pull that distance back again. He is really getting around this racetrack well.
1.7 seconds is the lead, and here is the car that's on the move. 4th place, Billy Bigley Jr.
And using a lot of racetrack there.
Well, he is, buddy. Now that he's finally got it all to himself, he doesn't have to worry about Freddie Query being up there above him. He can use more of the racetrack. I think it's helping him get through the corners a little better. He is starting to close ground. You can see the other black car, number 8 there. That's Matt Kenseth, who is now running 3rd, and Billy Bigley is really gaining on him. I think that he's going to be able to challenge for that 3rd position here very soon. There you see Matt Kenseth in the 8. There's Billy Bigley in the 28.
Bigley 6th in all-pro points last year, 3rd in 93 and 6th in 92. 1 victory.
Only about, I'd say 8 or 9 car lengths separate the two right now, and Kenseth is in heavy traffic. That's going to allow Bigley to really close the distance up fast. Look at all that traffic. There's a car between them right now, but they're both working heavy traffic. That's going to play in Bigley's favor, I believe.
Ron Barfield stays to the inside, and the 28 of Bigley is there. Let's check with the leader's pit. Here's Ralph.
Danny Stillman, crew chief for Scott Hansen. Is he running as hard as he can? He's still got some left.
He's pretty much going as fast as he can go right now.
Well, it seems like the 16 might be catching him a little bit. Are you getting worried about that?
Not really. The interval seems to be the same right now. He's not really gaining. What we really don't need is a caution.
Scott Hansen on a roll here, not a regular in this series, but he has won the series opener here at Nashville previously and won at Milwaukee, both in 1993. Here's the fight for 3rd.
Well, and just as we predicted, Billy Bigley has caught Matt Kenseth. Kenseth moves under Clay Brown there in the number 7, the camera car. And you can see that he wasted no time in trying to put Brown between he and Billy Bigley, give himself just a little bit of breathing room.
Rick Crawford's made a pit stop in Circle Bar Motel number 14 and dropped off the lead lap. 17 to go.
Good shot of Bigley moving on the inside of Clay Brown now, trying to still put that pressure on Matt Kenseth, take that 3rd place position from him. He's having trouble getting by Clay Brown. Ooh.
Another lapped car. And Toby Porter has gone to the garage area, out of the race. That's 87 up high, going 1 down. Tony Raines
Mike, look at the pressure on the back window there. It's got it pushed in about 4 inches in the middle there. Now, you think you don't have a lot of down pressure? They're running well over 100 miles an hour down the straightaways here.
Same thing on the 8 car. You see the back window of that.
There goes Bigley by.
And Bigley's.
That thing's shaking like a bowl of jelly. Everything on it's loose but it's flying.
It looked like it was quivering, and finally Bigley gets around Clay Brown to try to put the pressure on Kenseth again.
But time's running out. Just 15 laps to go. Don't forget tomorrow, live Busch Grand National action from here at Nashville, the Opryland USA 320.
Looks like Bigley's moving in, just as you said, Glenn. He's pulled down some 5 or 6 car lengths in one lap.
Trouble front straightaway. 57, Bobby Russ Wood cut down a tire, tried to keep it down to the inside and out of harm's way, but the car came around on him and he spun at the front end of the straightaway. 8th caution of the day.
That little bit of fire you seen there, that was the built-up fuel in the exhaust pipes there, and when he was re-cranking, it just lit up for a second. That's not a real fire. It's just a little gas fire in the exhaust.
Remember what Scott Hansen's crew chief definitely did not want. Be careful what you don't ask for. You might get it.
Well, they've got a caution. Here's a replay of what happened to Bobby Russ Wood. Watch the right side of your screen. Trying to limp it around.
Well, he was just trying to get back into the pit area, and of course with a flat tire the car turned around on him. He was very lucky that nobody didn't come off the corner low. There's not a lot of room to operate here.
It sets the stage for a shootout. There are just 12 laps to run. We'll be right back to Nashville. Welcome back to Nashville. 95 Chad Chaffin and number 15 Mark Day just both pitted for tires. They were toward the tail end of the lead lap. Mike Cope is also in as we're set for a shootout. Scott Hansen leads it here. 9 cars are on the lead lap. Hal Goodson, number 16, is second. Number 8, Matt Kenseth, is third. Number 28, Billy Bigley Jr. in fourth. Number 6, Freddie Query, the 5th place car, as you see Ron Barfield Jr. in the pits. That'll move up into 6th place, number 55, Scott Walters, and 01, Wayne Willard. Then the 2 cars that just made pit stops, 95, Chad Chaffin, and 15, Mark Day. Number 8 is on pit road, 3rd place car. Now going through and taking up his spot in the restart order. Well, they get 1 to go.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if, you know, obviously he had to make a pit stop for something. I wonder if it was fuel or tires or what.
Boys, we have a situation here. 10 laps to go. I guarantee you it's going to be a war.
Well, let's check with Ralph on Scott Hansen's car.
We told you earlier that Scott felt very, very comfortable on used slick tires here. He felt that everybody would do exactly what he did since he was the leader, so he decided to stay out on the racetrack and make everybody else match up to his abilities on these slippery tires. So we'll find out if that was the right call or not.
I think it would have to be, Ralph. Scott Hansen is so concerned about tire management and keeping the car under him. He, as the leader, he has not had to race many people these last 30 laps, but just race the racetrack. If he got fresh tires, everybody else would too, and they'd be on a level playing field. Hansen's got to believe that he's taken better care of his tires than the other fellows have.
That's a matter of opinion. I tell you what, he's got his work cut out for him. There's nothing easy in racing, and when you have a caution with 10 laps to go, boy, oh boy.
Look at the right rear quarter panel of Matt Kenseth's car. It's just about completely ripped away. It'd be interesting to see if I would have thought they'd have tried to get that off when he made that pit stop. Maybe they did, just couldn't get it completely off. But that thing's flapping in the breeze. I don't think it'll stay on there very long.
Hope it stays on for 9 laps.
So do I. He's run too long not to be up there in contention.
Getting set for the restart.
Do you think Scott Hansen's going to start this race a little bit early? Up,
no
one
restart.
More lap, it looks like.
Trying to get everybody in line for this final restart under 10 laps. I'm not sure if they go single file on this restart with less than 10 laps to go in this series.
Well, 3 cars don't think so right there.
Well, now they're all on the lead lap, so trying to get lined up here.
Boy, oh boy.
None of them giving an inch.
There'll be some scolding going on here pretty quick.
Well, the 8 car just got told.
In no uncertain terms by the flagman.
Right. And they try to line it up once again.
Now, let's speculate as to whether NASCAR, normally when something like that's flapping, they'll, they'll black flag a car, but there may be enough time that he's trying to get it to break off, isn't he?
No,
or just,
no. He's cleaning tires.
Cool, yeah. He might be trying to shake that thing off, too.
Well, I would think if it was a piece of metal, certainly they would bring him in, but just being a piece of fiberglass, there may not be any potential damage associated.
If I were driving that car, I would want you guys to go to somebody else right now.
Tammy Jo Kirk coming around. We're under caution one more lap. Watch the glare on the windshield as we come around. The sun is really only hitting the track at the exit of turn 2 down into turn 3 here.
And they've given them one to go again now,
There
Mike.
you go. Yes, it definitely is in the windshield there as she turned into pit road.
One to go this time. Single file restart.
And there are no cars between leader Scott Hansen and the second place car of Hal Goodson. See Goodson pulling right up on the bumper there, and Billy Bigley right behind him.
Yes.
You know, we were talking about Bigley being loose, but he's been steady gaining on the leaders all this whole day, so I wouldn't count him out at all yet.
Or this man, the Downtown Radio Ford, Hal Goodson, led most of the first half of this race after starting second. So, who took care of their car the best? We're about to find out. 193 laps complete.
Whoa, here we go.
Green flag. 6 to go as we begin lap 195, and Hansen takes a 2-car length advantage. One car squirts up the racetrack, gets it back. It's a 3-car breakaway. Hansen, Goodson, and Bigley.
Here comes Bigley. He's getting in the corner very well with this race car. Coming off, he's a little bit loose. I'd say the first 2 cars are pretty evenly matched, but Bigley will make a run, I believe. The way he's getting in the corner, he'll make a run.
5 to go. Coming up the field.
Coming up off of turn 2 there, you see Matt Kenseth. That piece of metal looks like it has, or a piece of fiberglass looks like it has blown away now.
4 laps. Hansen has 3 car lengths of a lead. Still up in that high groove, taking care of the car. And here comes Hal Goodson. He closes in on Hansen going in the corner.
Whoa, little contact there coming. Whoa, we were very lucky coming out of the corner just now.
Yeah, as the 8-car Kenseth got into Freddie Query. 3 to go. Watch Goodson drive it into turn 3. That's where he's really been gaining on Scott Hansen, right here.
Oh, he's getting in the corner extremely well, but what he's doing,
Bigley, can he save it? Yes.
Yeah, but look who got to 3rd place. Matt Kenseth went right by Freddie Query and Billy Bigley. Bigley's got some kind of problem. 2 laps to go. He has fallen back to 5th.
Charles Powell limping down the backstretch, may not finish this one. Up front, it is 2 car lengths apart. Scott Hansen, Hal Goodson.
You talk about a good race car driver now. Scott Hansen's doing everything it takes to win this race. Watch him go in this corner. How many times have we seen him run that groove today?
The 8 of Kenseth closing in.
Whoa.
He may run out of time, but he's coming hard and fast for 2nd place.
The car to look out for right now is the 8 car.
Kenseth, here he comes. Out of turn 4, checkered flag waving. Hansen will win it. Whoa. Goodson is 2nd, and Kenseth is 3rd.
2 more laps, and I believe Kenseth would have been 1st.
There ain't 2 more laps.
Was this not the All-Pro 202?
Scott Hansen drove a very planned, calculating race, conserved his tires, raced as hard as he needed to, when he needed to, and mostly, buddy, he raced the racetrack instead of other people.
He did that. And, Mike, anywhere you see this guy race, he's always up front and knows how to preserve those tires and knows how to win.
Scott Hansen will go to victory lane. Hal Goodson finishes up in 2nd. Hard charge by Matt Kenseth to get the 3rd spot. Freddie Query is 4th. We'll be right back. A wild day in Nashville as they kick off the new season here at Nashville Speedway USA. Scott Hansen puts his Ford in victory lane. Hal Goodson is 2nd. Kenseth, Query, and Bigley, the top 5. Hansen is in a Chevrolet, on that graphic. That is a Monte Carlo, and there is your winner. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Well, that was truly a lesson in tire management. How much tire did you feel like you had left from inside the cockpit?
Not a bit. We were totally out. You know, they went to an 8-tire deal here this weekend, and I said, geez, I'd really like to see it stay at 8 instead of the 10, and we didn't use the last 2 anyway. You know, the car was real loose in the beginning. We put those 4 new ones on, and I was able to find that line that I found here a couple years ago, and the car was perfect.
Well, you know, you won it then, but back then they didn't do like they used to do at the old Winston Cup races. You know, if you won here in an old NASCAR race, they gave you a Gibson Les Paul guitar, so guess what? Congratulations, you get one. Now, I've known you for quite a few years. I'm going to put the Gatorade up there, and I want to hear a tune. Sing something, anything. Come on. Strum it and do something.
I don't know. How about Old Happy Days? I got to thank Slim Jim, the sponsor of this Gatorade. You know, everybody, Bob Harmon here at Nashville, you know, I mean, just love this racetrack. I wish we'd come back here more often.
Well, there's a lot of members on his crew. Whether or not he can strum the guitar, that would be lighting a lighter in the background asking for an encore right about now.
He'll have a song to sing all the way to the bank today. Scott Hansen.
I don't care what they say. That bull's on something back there.
Oh, well. Great drive for Scott Hansen today. And I'll tell you, the man who finished third, Matt Kenseth, may have ended up with the best strategy of all. Larry McReynolds down chasing that story. Larry?
Well, I'm telling you, I'm standing here with third-place finisher, 23-year-old Matt Kenseth, and I'm telling you, I'm pretty impressed by this tire strategy. Let me make sure I got this right. He changed 3 tires the first stop. He took the left front and glued it back up. So with 10 laps to go, you put 3 stickers on and put that left front back on the left rear.
Yeah, the first stop we came in, we changed 3 tires. The car was just getting a little bit loose, and NASCAR only allows us 6 tires in the pit, so we decided to do 3 and 3. We took the left rear off and glued it back up and saved it for the second pit spot. We decided to glue that back up and put on the left front and put 3 stickers on and make a run at them. We just came up a few laps short.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I believe 2 more laps and Matt Kenseth might have been over there in victory lane getting that guitar.
There's some folks up here who share that opinion as well.
Yeah. I was just thinking about these guitars. I got one time. That's equivalent to a pig getting a wristwatch. I couldn't use it. I couldn't use that at all, believe me.
And you can play it at the Wild Horse Saloon.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. The Busch Grand National cars are going to roll out to practice for tomorrow's Opryland USA 320 that you'll see live here on TNN. And you will be riding along with Jason Keller right here in the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet as he gets set to go practice, and our TNN crew hustles across pit road to get another story. Darrell Waltrip will start on the pole. He's in a car that Terry Labonte has provided for him. There you see it, number 17. It's an MW Windows Western Auto Chevy. Looks just like Terry's. And Darrell said, he says, I knew Terry would bring me a good car here. I didn't know he'd bring me a great car.
The one thing that was really strange is this is the car that Terry won 3 races with last year with new skin on it.
Hey,
so
and look at that helmet Darrell's got on.
Chrome head.
He had a guy come and see him and said, Darrell, he says, what you got you need chrome, because I can chrome anything. Darrell was holding his helmet. He says, here, take this. The guy brought it back. It was chrome plated. So old Chrome Dome will be with us tomorrow from inside that race car. It'll be number 11 tomorrow. Robbie Reiser is number 17 on the Busch Series. So they asked Darrell, he said, well, you can't run 17. What do you want? He said, well, I used to drive 11. He said, in fact, I used to win here with 11. So that's what'll be on Darrell's car. There's Reiser just in front of Jason Keller. We're going to be joining Truckin' USA in progress in just a little bit here as you have a look at the cars that'll compete in the Opryland USA 320 here tomorrow at Nashville. Boy, after today's race, I can't wait.
Boy, it don't matter what number you put on Darrell Waltrip. He's going to be the man tomorrow, and everybody knows that he's going to be very tough to beat.
A lot of folks are thinking Terry Labonte will have a strong shot here tomorrow as well. One of NASCAR's absolute best slick track drivers. Let's go back down to the pits, and here's Ralph.
Well, we caught up with Freddie Query, who finished 4th here this afternoon. Quite a battle with you and Bigley. What was going on inside the cockpit? Clean fight?
You know, they made me start in the back there, you know, and it was just a fight all the way. I was real lucky there at the beginning. I was so mad they made me do that. I didn't even know if I was going to race, and they threw the green flag. I had dropped back about 10, 15 car lengths, you know, and they had that bad wreck. And after that, I said, well, maybe this is omen, you know, something happened like this. And just raced hard, and everybody raced hard around me all day long there. And Bigley and I was big buddies, you know. We like to race. We race go-karts and play and stuff. And I guess it's a little more serious than playing what I was doing out there, you know. But we both had pretty good control of our cars, and we was just trying to get that position, a little bit more money. That's all there is to it.
Mike, just to remind everybody, he was sent to the back because he had missed a driver's meeting.
Thanks, Ralph. Gave us a great show. He and Billy Bigley. Well, Scott Hansen's going to play a few notes on that guitar as the hat dance goes on in Victory Lane.
I'm looking at him, and I'm knowing what he's thinking right now. If they asked me to do one note, I wouldn't know what to do.
Let's go back down to the pits.
I'm standing here with second-place finisher Hal Goodson. Hal, second-place finish, not bad, but come up just a little bit short.
Yeah, we started second, finished second, so I guess it's a pretty good day for the first race of the year. We pulled a car here, an old U-Haul truck or tow truck broke down, and, you know, we're glad to be here. And, you know, the old Ford, that Chevrolet beat me today. I was trying to win one for Ford. I know you're having a tough time on Winston Cup, but, you know, I kind of burnt the tires up a little bit there at the end, and we had a gas problem. It flooded right after restarts, and it kind of killed us. But, you know, we're happy with it, and we'll take it, and we're going after championship this year.
How about the track conditions? Did they kind of change as the day went on? I mean, y'all was out there long enough to run a 500-mile race.
Yeah, it seemed like we were out there forever, but, you know, when you got a good car, it makes it all worth it. And, you know, the crew did a hell of a job all weekend, and, you know, I did my part, I guess. You know, I got the easy part most of the time, but, you know, the track, this is the best race car I've had here, and the track seemed like it was better than it has been since I've been coming here. But when it cooled off, we got a little tight, and, you know, kind of just didn't work out for us, but I guess we'll have to take a second and get them next time.
Well, that's the story from the second-place finisher, Hal Goodson.
Thanks, Larry. He led the first 91 laps today. Tomorrow, Jason Keller will start alongside Darrell Waltrip on the front row. Kenny Wallace and Elton Sawyer in row 2. David Green and Chad Little in the third row. Sterling Marlin and Phil Parsons. Rick Wilson and Bobby Dotter, the top 10 starters tomorrow. Then it's Terry Labonte and Larry Pearson. The Tour's 2 top rookies will start side-by-side in row 7. Jeff Fuller and Curtis Markham. Chris Diamond and Tim Fedewa, Bobby Hamilton and Stevie Reeves. Michael Waltrip and Hermie Sadler, the top 20. Then Johnny Benson and Jim Bounds, Rodney Combs, Doug Hebron, Tracy Leslie, and the fastest second-round qualifier, Randy Porter, was second fastest overall with that little V6, and who knows? Porter, Mike McLaughlin, Bobby Dotter, and Chris Diamond all have V6s for tomorrow's race. Interesting to see how they'll stack up against the 9-1 V8s.
Well, Mike, I think it's going to be a great race tomorrow. You can see it's evident by the way that things went today that we just got I just look at this finish coming off here. This is great, but I think that you're going to see the same kind of excitement in tomorrow's race. I can't wait. I'm going back down in the pits.
You need to. Yes. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
For Buddy Baker, drop by visitor Glenn Jarrett, Larry McReynolds, Ralph Shaheen. This is Mike Joy congratulating new lead guitarist Scott Hansen on his Slim Jim 200 victory. We'll see you tomorrow from right here in Nashville, Tennessee.